Hey everyone, how are y'all? Cats meow, how are you? K Brace, how are you tonight? Hey Michelle, how are you? Scott, how are you? Alright, y'all don't forget to put your chat on live chat. Please excuse my voice, because it seems like it's getting worse by the day. Alright, email's pinned to the top of the chat if y'all need it for anything. Lady V, how are you? Oh, Betty Joe, are you feeling any better? I had hot tea right before I went live. I don't think it's doing its job anymore. Hey Margaret, how are you? Scarface, how are you? Oh, Betty Joe, that sucks. I know how that feels. I'm just waiting for it to happen to me. And I haven't had that happen in a couple of years now, but it's like mine's getting worse every day. And it's the hot tea's not helping it. I'm putting lemon juice and honey, but I couldn't find any local honey, so I had to get some from the dollar store. And that shit came from Ukraine and India and somewhere else. So it's probably not going to do any good anyway. Linda G, how are you? Dreamcatcher, how are you tonight? All right, y'all. We're going to talk about uh, Kayla Montgomery and her testimony and the crap show that it was. The woman is disgusting. Um, honestly, I don't know how else to put it about her. The baby is making fun of you. Betty Joe, is she okay? Has she gotten sick? Um, I think everybody in chat today, when we were listening to Kayla, I think everybody in there was disgusted with her and very upset with some of the things that she was saying and explaining what Harmony uh, went through, especially on that last day. And it's just ridiculous. Hey, no fear. How are you? I sound horrible. I'm sorry. That's why I didn't talk today when I was live when the trial was going on because I was trying to rest my voice. I'm just more than likely before the end of the week, my voice will be gone. Hey, Sarah Beth, how are you? And if y'all hear me mute throughout, it's just because I'm coughing. Um, I don't want to cough in y'all's ear and all that. That's no fun. All right, let me throw the link out. Anybody wants to come up, you're more than welcome to. I do have a new document that came out in Brian's case, but we'll go over all of that. It's just one document, and it's for a new hearing date that's coming up, but I'll go through that before I end the lab tonight. Oh, thank you, Sarah Beth. I'm trying to get all my my notes in order because Kayla was on the stand for a while Friday. Um, and the defense, or I'm sorry, the state is trying to paint her out to be this victim. She's a victim of DV, and I'm not saying that Adam didn't abuse her. He very well could have. Um, and that would make her a victim of that. But, and people may get upset whenever I say this, but I fully believe in karma as well. Um, she did nothing to protect Harmony. And she basically solidified that today when she was back on the stand at the first part of court today. Um, she had multiple chances to help Harmony, and she didn't. After Harmony was discovered deceased, she had multiple chances to tell what happened. Hey, Vapor, how are you? Um, Kayla had multiple chances to tell what happened to her after that, before Adam got rid of her body, and she didn't do it. In the end, the only victim here in this case is Harmony. Hey, Sally Mae, how are you? K Bryce, I know she even said that today. Uh, that I forgot the exact wording, but it's hard for her to let him go because he is the father of her kids. Sweet Melissa, how are you? And thank you. Um, I think the state was trying to paint her as a victim and painting the picture of the reason why she did not tell what happened or try to stop what was going on with Harmony and what Adam was doing to her. It's because she was scared of him. Which I don't buy because she literally says she wanted to be with him. Again, she wanted one last time with him. Sally Mae, she claims that she was. I do not believe that she was. Because if you were scared of him, then you would not have wrote in a letter that was found in this was found in her jail cell that part of the conditions uh, of her betraying him, which was of her, and this was before she went and testified before the grand jury, which we know she lied to. But she named off all these things. You know, she wanted her kids, she wanted full immunity, she wanted one last chance with him. She wanted to hold him and kiss him and do other things with him. Um, I think if she was scared of him, she would have never wrote that. If she was so scared of him, she would not have talked today on the stand about how she loved him. He was her best friend. It's hard for her to let him go because he's the father of her kids. Were the other kids in the house? Sally Mae, she was actually unalived in the car, in the back seat of the car. And yes, the two kids were in the back seat when it happened. It was Adam and Kayla in the front seats, Harmony and the two boys, Declan and Seamus, in the back seat. Betty Joe, I agree. Um, I think the defense in most of what they were trying to do, because in their opening they did push the blame on her and saying that Adam didn't do this, she did it to Harmony. They try to push it that Harmony didn't die that day or early that morning um, in the car, that she had actually passed away around 2 a.m. when Kayla was by herself with her when Adam wasn't around. And she kept saying, no, that's not what had happened. It was later they had then went to the methadone clinic, and then they left from there and went to Burger King. Um, Sally Mae, hold on, I got their ages wrote down. I gotta find it. I believe one was, let's see, two. Hold on, where did I write that down at? Um, okay, so Sally Mae, one of them was 5 months old, and the other was 2 years. And we'll get to that also, what she said about the kids and about how she fed them. Hey, Kelly P, how are you? Because I don't buy that story either. A lot of what she said, she was basically trying to uh, distance herself along with some truth in there. Denise R, how are you? How long did they have the little girl's body for? See, she passed away in December, and Adam left with her body and did whatever he did with it in March. So from December 2019 to March of 2020, um, they were moving her body from various locations. And then finally, Adam got a friend of theirs to get a hotel and rent a U-Haul van. And he left the hotel with the body. That's when he was caught on camera, I guess, through the toll on the Tobin Bridge early that morning. And Kayla even says that he left in the middle of the night and came back before sunrise. So he was only gone for a couple of hours. Hey, Elsie, how are you? The whole situation is sad. I still think that she should have been charged with the same thing that he was charged with, along with neglect. Um, what she said today that was allowed to happen to Harmony before she died. It's neglect. Uh, the way that she stated she fed her kids was neglectful. And I don't think she should have gotten a a plea deal. And I think the state or the defense was mostly trying to discredit her. It was brought up many times, probably 20 or more times, that she lied to the grand jury. She only got 2 charges of perjury, though. One was for uh, a shift that she claimed that she worked at Dunkin' Donuts, and then the location of the Dunkin' Donuts. And the thing was, she was no longer employed with the Dunkin' Donuts when that happened to Harmony, and she was saying that that's where she was at. She got fired for stealing money out of the register. And I guess she just thought that they would not go back and get employment records to back her story up, to verify. So she caught 2 charges. She got 3.5 to 7 years for one charge, and that was suspended. For the other, that sentence was suspended. For the other charge, she got 3.5 to 7, with a year and a half suspended. Uh, she was to serve out the 2 years, but she also got time served. So in May, she's supposed to be possibly getting out. So that's basically what the defense did Friday and today, was discredit her. Um, she was not in the courtroom when the opening statements was going on, but her attorney was there. Her attorney was also in the courtroom today. Well, when the state goes and does their opening statements, her attorney goes out and tells her what was said, and therefore it helps her prepare. for her answers and what possibly could be coming up in questions. Um, Today, the state was questioning her, and she mentioned something about opening statements, and then the state said they had nothing further, and the defense comes back and was like, wanting to know, how do you know what was said in opening statements? And she was like, well, my attorney, she got really tripped up. And she said her attorney told her. And then she said, I'm sorry, I'm not really here today. And I think that was a tactic of, we need to end the court for today. And I really thought that they was going to, because at that point they went to a 15-minute break that actually lasted like 30 minutes. And it was said that she wasn't there any longer. Uh, they finally came back into court. She got back on the stand. You could tell she was very upset. Okay, Bloody V. Um, you could tell she was very upset when she came back in. She just has. How about y'all? Um, now what I was saying. She had an attitude. You could tell she just, her demeanor had completely changed. She wasn't as relaxed as she was before that. Mr. Rosebud, how are you? So, I'm going to read this article real quick and then I'm going to get into some more of what she said on the stand. But I want to read this article real quick before my voice gets any worse tonight. And can everybody see this okay? Or do I need to zoom in a little bit? She was very sedated. Mr. Rosebud, I've noticed that Friday also. She she seemed tired in the first part Friday, and then when they came back, I can't remember if it was after lunch or after break. Um, her eyes were very, very heavy, and then she starts talking about, oh, she's getting a migraine, and I think that was also a tactic of her saying she was tired, she was ready to go, and she didn't want to testify anymore for the day. And I think that that's what she was trying to pull um, this afternoon when she said, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not really here. Almost like, hey, I may be on something, I'm not comprehending what's going on or whatever, but it didn't work. She had to come back on the stand after the break, and I think that's probably what she was upset with, because it worked Friday, but it didn't work today. All right, so this says, Kayla Montgomery says that she still cares about Adam Montgomery. And some of the stuff she said today, y'all, was just disgusting. But the estranged wife of a New Hampshire man accused of murdering his 5-year-old daughter and hiding the child's body for months testified Monday that she still cares about him despite the horrors that she says she witnessed. Kayla Montgomery has been the star witness against her husband Adam, who is facing second-degree murder and other charges in the death of his daughter Harmony. Authorities believe the girl was murdered on December the 7th, 2019, but still wasn't reported missing for nearly 2 years after that. The girl's body has not been found because allegedly Adam told her, if anybody comes around and asks anything about it, he's going to take the fall for it. He's going to take the fall for everything. That way she could still be with their kids, with their 3 kids at the time. Um, kind of backfired on her because now she's in the situation, she's sitting in prison, and now his defense is she's the one who done it and not him. Denise, he has not been in court at all. He has, I think the only time he showed up for court was during jury selection. And the only reason why I think that, although we didn't get to watch jury selection, hey honey, how are you? Was because when the state was doing their opening statement, when they were talking to the jury, they kept referring to the man that you saw 2 days ago. So I'm thinking he must have been there, but he did waive his rights to not show up to his trial. And that can also go into the verdict phase of this. Um, Me personally, I think he should have been there. He should have been sitting there through the whole thing. And for whatever reason, he waived his rights. They were, I think, going to transfer him the other day to the court, and they wanted to, at the prison, wanted to strip search him, and he was not having the strip search. He didn't want to do it. Now, I don't know why. He should know that that is a part of the protocol. Whenever you leave the jail to go somewhere else, you're strip search when you leave or before you leave, and you're searched before you come back, when you come back in before you go to your cell. Um, Kind of sounds like he was trying to hide something and that he didn't want to get caught with it, and that's why he didn't want to be strip searched. So he didn't show up. He hasn't showed up. He's a pansy ass. Okay, so there has to be, yes, Vapor. She does have a plea agreement with the state. Um, she has to come in, testify against him, and tell the truth. I think she's lied about several things since she's been on the stand for the past 2 days. There's been some inconsistencies between Friday and today. Um, I think it's a possibility that the state was a little bit embarrassed about her testimony and the things that she said, and how she was caught up in lies and it proven to be a liar, and this and that. Um, but yeah, she did. There was something in there about that. Uh, she couldn't be charged for anything that she made statements about or something. I'll have to go back and re-listen to it. But she does. She is in jail for 2 counts of perjury. Both carry a 3.5 to 7 year sentence. One of those was completely suspended. The other 3.5 to 7 got a year and a half knocked off, so she only had to serve 2. And her minimum of that sentence with time served will be up in May. So it is a very good possibility she will be getting out in May. So I don't think she should. I think she should have to serve the full term. But all right. So as the trial got underway in Manchester last week, defense attorneys acknowledged Adam Montgomery is guilty of falsifying evidence and abusing a corpse, and that is where the first day, whenever after they did open the statements, although Adam was not physically in the courtroom, he did come on via Zoom, Skype, something like that, talk to the judge, let him know that his attorneys, or let the judge know that his attorneys would be acknowledging that he is pleading guilty for those 2 charges. But at the time, I even said, how are you going to plead guilty to an abuse of a corpse without acknowledging the fact that you're guilty for murdering your daughter? And then when I opened the statement coming in from the defense, it was there. They're blaming it on Kayla and saying that she's the one who done it. I don't believe she's the one who actually murdered Harmony, but I think that there is still a lot of lies that she is telling. One, I fully think that she knows where the baby was put, and she's not telling it. And I don't know why the state did not put that in her agreement. Uh, because she asked for all these different things. Why didn't they put in there, well, you got to tell us where the body is? What did he do with her? Let us go check that out. And if we can prove that you are telling the truth, we hold up our end of the deal. But they didn't put that in there. It kind of makes you sick that they even did an agreement with her. Hey, Tristan, how are you? Okay, but they said that he did not murder Harmony and have instead suggested the girl actually died on December the 6th while alone with her stepmother, Kayla. That assault never happened, did it? Attorney Caroline Smith said after Kayla Montgomery again testified that her husband repeatedly punched Harmony in the head because the girl had wet herself. Carolyn Smith is Adam's attorney. All right, so yes, it did, said Kayla. She also denied the defense team's theory when prosecutor Christopher Knowles directly asked her, did Harmony die in the middle of the night along with you when the defendant wasn't even there? No, she answered. The family, including the couple's 2 young boys, had been evicted and were living in the car at the time. According to Kayla, Adam pushed Harmony at several stoplights as they drove from a methadone clinic to a fast food restaurant on the morning of December the 7th. She showed little emotion Monday, answering questions about handing food to the children without checking on Harmony. The subsequent discovery that the girl was deceased and all the places that she said that the body was hidden, including a homeless shelter, a ceiling vent, and the walk in freezer at her husband's workplace. But she later cried and wiped her face with tissues when asked whether she still loved Adam, which irritated the hell out of me today. Y'all get into that in a minute. I still care about him because he's the father of my children, she said. He was my best friend. It's been hard for me to just let go. This woman is sick in the head. This man murdered his 5-year-old little girl in front of her, which she did nothing about. She continued lying for him because she didn't want him getting in trouble. And it's hard for her to let this dude go. Knowles then showed her a large photograph of her own face, bruised with injuries she said that Montgomery had inflicted, and asked why she stayed with him. I was scared, and I still cared about him, she said, giving a similar answer when Knowles showed her a large image of Harmony and asked, "Why stay with someone who did what he did to a helpless girl like this?" Hey, Thistle. Kayla Montgomery is serving an 18-month prison sentence after pleading guilty to perjury for lying during grand jury testimony about where she was when Harmony was last seen. She was not given immunity, but acknowledged to Smith that she hasn't faced further consequences for inconsistencies in her various statements to police and prosecutors. By that agreement, you were supposed to only tell the truth, and your story has changed a lot, said Smith, suggesting that Kayla has continued to lie to protect herself. And at the grand jury, you were always supposed to tell the truth, and you lied. Adam Montgomery has not attended his trial. He was convicted last year in an unrelated case involving gun theft and was sentenced to over 30 years in prison. So he's never going to get out of prison. I think he's going to be convicted of this, probably get life. He'll never be out. Her, on the other hand, if they don't do something about this agreement that they have, and how she's even admitted that she's had inconsistencies and she's lied, and she hasn't. There's nothing been done to her about it. She made the state look like a bunch of idiots too, because they didn't do anything. Betty Joe, I think he is too. It's a shame though that she's not getting the same thing. She did say today though that she cannot have any contact with her kids. She does not have any parental rights to them, which is good. Um, I don't think that she should. I think that she is a danger to their lives. I hope that once she gets out, that things don't change in that regard if she is then able to come back into those kids' lives. Because she doesn't deserve them, and they deserve a better life than what they've already went through during their short life so far. All right, so Kayla claims that she was scared of Adam, and that was the reason why she didn't stop him for what he was doing to Harmony. But just coincidentally, the day that Harmony, and this is what she testified to Friday, coincidentally, the day that Harmony, or the morning that Harmony died, Adam was hitting on her. Apparently, they got up that morning, went to the methadone clinic around 7-ish, somewhere around in there. Kayla went in first, and then Adam had to go in because one of them had to sit in the car with the kids. And it was even brought up that they would go into the clinic together and would leave the kids in the car by themselves, and someone turned them in for that. So they started going in one at a time. So allegedly, the story was Friday that she went in first, Adam went in second. When Adam came back out, he smelled inside the car. It smelled where Harmony had an accident. Now, it was asked today, did you know, did you try to get Harmony to go to the restroom and use the bathroom? And she said, yeah, I would ask her, but she would always say she didn't need to. This is a 5-year-old little girl. Little kids, their number one thing is not to get up and go to the bathroom. She should have made her, uh, and at least tried to get her to go. So she says that when Adam comes out and he realizes that Harmony had an accident in the car, uh, he got mad. He started screaming, started hitting Harmony, and this does need to have a trigger warning, y'all. Hold on, because some of the stuff that she said is very triggering. Uh, she had said something about she wanted to go to Burger King. So they're on their way to Burger King. There are multiple red lights that they have to stop at. Adam is still hitting her at these red lights. So between the methadone clinic and uh, Burger King, they get to Burger King. They order the food. She claims that Adam was hitting on her, and she told him to stop. This is enough. Hey, Kelly, how are you? Uh, and he looked at her with this look that she had never seen before, and it scared her, and she thought that he was going to hit her. So she didn't say anything else. She didn't turn around and look at Harmony. She didn't turn around and check on her. She didn't ask if she was okay. She did none of that because she was scared of Adam. But she did say that Harmony was, hey Jerry, she did say that Harmony was making these moaning noises. And then Adam says, I think I heard her really bad. I heard her felt something. Uh, Still, she doesn't check on Harmony. Are you okay, Harmony? You know, none of that. They go get the food, and they go back to, and once again, this is still what she says Friday on the stand. They go back to the Colonial Village apartments, which is where this friend of theirs, Anthony, lives, who is also their substance dealer. So they go back there, they get their substances, they do them, they got to leave, they get out on the road, get to this very busy intersection, and the car dies, it breaks down. Uh, so they get out, Kayla's waving traffic around, and all this and that. And they're trying to get the kids out and get some of their stuff out because they're going to walk back to their friend Anthony's house. According to Kayla, Anthony didn't really want them to stay living in their car in the parking lot at his complex. He didn't want to get in trouble for it. But they stayed there because that's where the substances was. So Adam goes to get Harmony out, and she says that Adam was like, hey, wake up. He tries to wake her up, this and that. They realize that she is deceased. So Adam goes in the trunk, gets a duffel bag. Once again, trigger. Uh, Folds her body up, puts her in the duffel bag. I don't know how at this busy intersection, and there was a couple of people in the chat when we were watching the trial that said that this is a very busy intersection. I don't know how he did this without someone seeing him. But he puts her in the duffel bag, get the other two babies out, walks to Anthony's house. Over that weekend, Anthony allows them to stay in his car until they can figure something out. Brings them food, and all this and that. She also says Friday that while they were staying in their car at the apartment complex, that Anthony never saw Harmony. She always stayed under a blanket, and he never saw her. So they go and they stay at Anthony's in his car. The battery goes dead. They call a friend, which she did get put on the stand today. But they call a friend. The friend comes out. She jumps the car off. And then a couple of days after that, they go and they stay at Kayla's mom's. And she lives in an apartment complex. And where like their, I guess you would call it like a breezeway or an outside hallway or whatever between, like you have apartments on one side of it, apartments on the other. Uh, there was a red ice chest there. Hey, Princess Megan, how are you? And Adam gets this red ice chest and he puts Harmony's body in it. After, I believe at the mom's house is where he also puts her under a porch. And then he moves her to this ice chest. So now Kayla has potentially involved her mama in this, even though her mama didn't know what was going on. He leaves this ice chest out in outside in this breezeway, hallway, whatever you want to call it, with this baby's remains in it. um, so they stay at her mom's for a while. Then they go to the homeless shelter. And while they're there, he puts her body in the ceiling. There was like this big uh, vent in the ceiling. And he took the vent down and put her up there. That was in their room. And then people start uh, complaining about smells. So at that point, he has to take her down and he goes into the bathroom with her. And he's in the bathroom for several hours. I have still not figured out if this bathroom was a public bathroom in the uh, the homeless shelter or not, or if it's a bathroom that it was in their room, like each individual room that the people are staying in, they have their own bathroom. Because my thing is, if it was a public bathroom for everyone at the shelter to use, and this dude is in this bathroom for several hours, somebody else had to come in and try to go into the bathroom and say that they needed in there to take a bath, shower, use the restroom, whatever. So he's in there, maintenance comes in, this and that. Uh, there was, when police found out about this, they went back to the shelter, to this room in this area, uh, and they looked up in the ceiling. There was a decomp smell. There was bodily fluid up there where had stayed the ceiling, and it was the palm prints that Adam had left. So they knew that he had been up there and that there was a body that had been put up there. So while they're at this shelter, which, hey Angela, how are you? Uh, while they're at the shelter, Adam starts working at the Portland Pie Company, which is, I guess, a pizza place. I guess up north they call pizzas pies. Uh, she had a chance while she was at her mama's to tell what happened to Harmony, but she didn't. When they were at the shelter and Adam was at work and she was there with the two boys and Harmony's body up in the ceiling, she had a chance several days to tell someone at the shelter while he was not there about what had happened and where Harmony's body was. She did not do it. So Adam calls her one day and tells her to bring Harmony's body to the pie company. He's going to put her in the freezer there. So she takes the bag, puts it in the bottom of her double stroller, puts both of her boys in the stroller, and she takes a 10-15 minute walk down the street from the uh, the shelter to Adam's shop. He then puts her in a tote and puts her in the freezer. And this is where food that they use to make the stuff there at the Portland Pie Company. So once again, she puts her in the stroller and walks out of the shelter. She very well could have told, but she didn't because her excuse was she didn't want him to get in trouble. It was more like she didn't give a shit what happened to Harmony. Uh, she didn't care. She wasn't there. She didn't testify to get justice for Harmony. She testified to get herself out of trouble. So they leave the shelter. They get their own place. They get an apartment. And they move Harmony to the apartment, put her in a closet. Uh, at some point, she's moved from the closet out of the tote. She's still in the bag. And she's in a diaper bag, y'all. Like the diaper bags that women get when they go to the hospital and they have their baby, and the hospital will give you like all these things that you need to start out with a newborn baby, and they put it in a diaper bag for you. That's what she was put into. Um, they're not huge, but they're not one of the very tiny diaper bags either. Angela, that is right. She only had tears for herself and Adam, and that was it. Uh, he goes at some point and gets, it was either a 40-pound bag or an 80-pound bag of lime, which she doesn't know where he got it from. Just that he got it and brought it back to the apartment. At some point, Harmony, when she was brought back from the pie company out of the freezer, he puts her into the bathtub and she's frozen. So he has to run hot water on her. And y'all just use your imagination in that because I don't want to get too graphic. But he has to run hot water on her. And he has to manipulate her body. Kayla claims that she went in there and she helped cut the clothes off of her. It was, I think, a black hoodie and some leggings or something like that she had on. She helped cut it off. Then she had to leave out because she couldn't handle it. And she had to go check on the boys. Because remember, they still had Seamus and Declan. She claims that she didn't see him put her in the slime, but she did have to help him zip the bag up. Then she goes into their freezer in their apartment. At some point, and I'm hoping that these two friends, and I've got their names wrote down somewhere, but it was a guy that he was friends with and the guy's girlfriend. They get the guy's girlfriend. No, Angela, it's perfectly fine, honey. I ran it when I was watching the trial. I was mad today. Like I wanted to jump through the screen and hit the woman, honestly. Um, but they get the friend's girlfriend to rent a U-Haul van and a hotel room in her name. That way, it couldn't be traced back to Adam. And so him and Kayla go to the hotel room. And I don't know where the boys were at. I don't remember if it was said that the boys were with them at the hotel room or if they were staying with somebody else. But him and her work together at the hotel room. The friend and the girlfriend bring the van keys to them. And apparently the girlfriend has told police that she does remember seeing this bag that was in the refrigerator in the hotel room. And I guess it was, he basically had to pack it into the refrigerator and the door wouldn't close completely and the bag was kind of hanging out of the refrigerator door. And she said that she remembers seeing that, but she didn't think anything of it. So Kayla says that Adam leaves in the middle of the night, but he comes back before sunrise. And when he comes back, he says, it's done. Now, I don't believe that that's all he said was he comes back into the hotel room. It's like, hey, it's done. I think she went with him. I think that she knows more than what she is saying about where this baby was put. She didn't go with him. I think he told her. Because remember, this was her best friend, and usually best friends tell each other everything. And then they go on about their lives. They have another kid. They end up separating. Adam goes into rehab. He having two more girlfriends. And then when the police show up, they go to question her because, according to Kayla, Adam told her to stick with the story that he took Harmony to her mama's house. Like the police are not going to verify that story. Because if y'all remember, Harmony was missing for 2 years before she was ever reported missing. And they had told multiple people that Harmony had went to stay with her mom, and these people believed it. They didn't know any better. So when Adam comes back into town, he comes back in with his girlfriend Kelsey. her, Kelsey, and Adam are seen at Walmart. They've got it on surveillance camera of them selling phones for money and all this and that. Today, when she gets on the stand, something is brought up about an incident that happened on December the 7th, which is the day that they're saying that Harmony died, but early that morning at like 2 something in the morning, and Adam wasn't around. And that is where the defense was trying to come in and say that Kayla had murdered Harmony. Well, Adam wasn't there, but Adam's taking a fall for it. And during this time, she claims that that incident that happened at 2 o'clock in the morning, that is when she tried to stop Adam and told him, you need to stop it. This is enough. And he gives her uh, this look that scared her to the point that she didn't say anything else. She didn't check on Harmony, uh, and all this and that. So that was the inconsistencies from Friday and what she said to today and what she said. So truthfully, because this baby has not been found, and so there cannot be any type of autopsy done on her or nothing like that. She could have died at 2 o'clock that morning, or she could have died between I would say 7 and 9 o'clock that morning. It will never that the truth of that will never be known. I just, like I said, I think it's funny that the day that Harmony passes away was the one time that she tried to stop him, and he gave her this look, and it scared her, and she'd never seen that look before. She says today that when Harmony would have accidents, because she was asked if she would clean her up or would they clean her clothes, and she said no. They would put like her underclothes in a bag. Didn't clean her up, just they would change her clothes. And then she was asked if they had 2 weeks worth of clothes for Harmony after they were evicted, and she said no. So if you never cleaned this baby's clothes when she had an accident, hey Liza, how are you? If you never cleaned this baby's clothes when she had an accident, and you didn't have 2 weeks worth of clothes for her, that tells me that these dirty, smelly, soiled clothes was put back on Harmony after they dried. It was asked if Kayla or Adam ever cleaned the car when she would have an accident. Kayla said no. Adam said just let her sit in it. She was asked when they went to the Burger King that morning, did Kayla ask if she could take Harmony inside and take her to the bathroom and clean her up? And she said no. She didn't do it. Uh, she was asked multiple times, did you stop at a gas station when she would have an accident? Did you take her into a store where you could take her into the bathroom and clean her up? No, never. So this baby had no clean clothes. She had, from what I understand, one blanket that she always kept on her. She sat in urine and feces. Um, she talked about how the car smelled, which I'm pretty sure it did. Her blanket was probably soiled as well. This poor baby endured a lot in the amount of time that he got custody of her till the time that she died. Angela, that, and just imagine a baby getting diaper rash. Imagine her sitting in that urine and that feces. That will burn your skin. It will irritate your skin. So I'm pretty sure she had irritation too. Um, so when Kayla claims that this, Adam had did what he did to her between the clinic and Burger King at the multiple stoplights, uh, Kayla claimed today that there was 3 croissants and some hash browns, I believe it was, that they bought that morning. There was a croissant for her, one for Harmony, one for Adam, but then Adam, I guess, ended up not wanting it or whatever, and then the hash browns. Can you imagine the bottom rest? Lady, yeah. That's where the neglect charge should have came in, right there, uh, for her and Adam both. She is literally admitting to all this. So I don't know why there wasn't a neglect charge put on both of them for that. Uh, so she was asked, well, did you ever check on Harmony? She says no. She heard her moaning, but she never looked back. She never checked on her. She never said, "Are you okay?" Nothing like that. She didn't turn around and look at Harmony because she was scared Adam was going to get mad. So then it goes into, well, whenever y'all bought the food, where did you eat it at? Uh, at one point, it was said that they ate it in the Burger King parking lot, and then another point, it was said that I can't remember which was which, but at one time it was said they ate it at the apartment complex in the parking lot. Uh, One was said at the grand jury, and she doesn't remember saying it. I forgot which one it was, but either way, uh, so she's asking her, okay, so if you don't turn around and you don't check on Harmony, you don't see her. Uh, how was you feeding the kids? Because remember, Kayla is sitting in the front seat, the passenger seat. Harmony is sitting on the passenger side in the back seat. She has either Declan or Seamus. I can't remember which one was in the carrier in the middle, and then the older little boy was on behind the driver's side in the back seat in his car seat. So she says that Harmony was old enough that I could just hand her food, sitting on her blanket, and she could open the package. Um, the baby was 5 years old. You still watch a 5-year old when they're eating to make sure that they don't get choked. The kid that was in the middle was in a baby carrier, which a baby carrier is rear facing. It's facing. They're looking at the back window of your vehicle, and then the other little boy was in the front facing, bigger type car seat. So they said, so when you were feeding the baby in the carrier, did you look at him like? And this the baby was 5 months old. Okay, Max, you're very welcome. And thank you. She said she never looked back at this baby. She would just pinch pieces of this croissant or this food off and stick her hand through the middle of the two front seats over the carrier and just put the food into his mouth. Can't see if he's eating it, can't see if he's spitting it out, can't see if the baby gets choked. None of that. Hey Avery, how are you? And then she's taken her hand with the kid and the older baby that's in the bigger car seat, and she's just pinching food and handing it to him, and she can see him. He's in a front facing car seat, like the bigger ones, so she can see him. So I'm thinking, okay, this is where neglect should come in again. You're feeding a baby that you can't even see him. You can't see his face. This kid could have been back there in this car seat in this carrier, which is rear facing. He could have been choking, and her never know it because she didn't look at him. And Angela, yes, she was probably higher than a kite. Uh, and I do agree. She should have. There should have been neglect charges for all three kids. Uh, but yeah, she was feeding them. Well, then she makes a statement. Uh, like I said, one croissant was bought for Adam, one was for Harmony, and one was for her. But she was breaking hers up and giving it to the boys. So she was, in that little statement, trying to make people believe that she was a good mother. My kids are hungry, so I'm going to give them my food and I'm going to do without. But 5 seconds before that, you said you were feeding a 5-month-old baby in a carrier, not looking at him, just putting food into his mouth. You know, the least his kids should have been eating baby food, not table food. So I was already irritated. Michelle, it was in New Hampshire. Truth matters. She was asked about that, about her parole hearing. She said she didn't know if it was a parole hearing, but her minimum is up in May. uh, because based on the agreement, and y'all, I'm going to be very upset if they let her keep her agreement. And I don't agree with the defense, because they're defending Adam, knowing what he did. Yes, Kelly P. She was feeding this baby, this 5-month-old little boy, table food while in a car. She's in the front seat. The baby is in the middle of the back seat. He is in a carrier that is rear facing. And she admits that she never looked at the baby. She just put the food in her hand and then put her hand over the top of the carrier and put the food in the baby's mouth. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. I don't believe nothing she says. It wouldn't surprise me if she did that because she is very neglectful. Um, I will be upset though if the state does uphold her her agreement, because I do think that at certain points the defense did prove that she was lying and there was inconsistencies in her testimony, and all she had to do was tell the truth. But instead, the whole time she's being questioned, she's on cross. Defense is up there questioning her. The whole time she ever talked about what Adam done to Harmony, or about Harmony having accidents and them not cleaning her up and them making her wear these dirty clothes, and uh, just all the stuff in the black eye, and just all that. She never cried. Not one time. The state gets up there. Uh, the prosecutor is this very tall, slender dude, looks to be young, but he's very soft spoken. Uh, he gets up there and he's babying her basically because he's trying to portray her as a DV victim. Um, and she didn't tell what happened to Harmony because she was scared of Adam. So when he gets up there and he starts talking about Adam and what Adam done to her and him abusing her and all this that, the tears literally just went to rolling down her face. And I'm sitting here thinking, she never shed a flippin' tear when talking about what this baby, this little 5-year-old little girl went through with being hit, being abused by her daddy, sitting in urine and feces, in dirty clothes, stinking, being murdered by her dad, where her body had been transferred all these different times to in the very end, her daddy taking her and disposing of her body. Never cried. But when it came to what Adam done to her, and him hitting her, and there's a picture of her with the bruises, she cried her eyes out. That's what pissed me off. Because she had, it, at that point, she proved that she was not there to get Harmony justice. She was only there to try to distance herself from what happened, make herself look good because she does want her kids back, uh, make herself look like she's this good parent, but she did what she did because she was scared. Uh, Even though she still loves him and he's her best friend and hard to let him go, this and that. Um, she was only there to testify so she could get less time than what she would have gotten if she would have just took her charge and did her full term, 3.5 to 7 years. 2 counts of perjury, Both carry 3.5 to 7 years. Hey JC, JC, yes, as of right now, her and Adam are both in jail. Adam is in jail on a 30-year stint for firearm charges. She is in there as of right now until May of this year. Hey King Scarlet, King Scarlet, did you ever make it home okay? And it was brought up about this Anthony guy, the guy who let him stay in the apartment complex, who sold them substances. Uh, when their car broke down, let him stay in his car for the weekend out in the parking lot, brought him food and all this and that. Uh, Allegedly, Adam would get Kayla to go up to Anthony's apartment to ask for free substances, um, or they would sell their food stamps to him. Angela, something was said after court ended today. Um, they let the jury go ahead and go back and everything, and something was said about somebody testifying, but possibly getting immunity. If they said a name, I don't know who the name is. I didn't hear that part, but it is apparently a guy. I'm wondering if it is this Anthony guy, or could it be the guy that got his girlfriend to get the hotel room in the U-Haul van for him? I'm thinking it's a very possibility that it's the Anthony guy, Anthony Bordeaux, or however you say his last name. Um, I'm thinking it's a very good chance it's probably him because he was selling substances. Kayla ratted him out on that. She said that's where they were getting them from. Uh, Pretty good chance that when she come in and was questioned about everything, that's probably the one thing that she did rat on. So she ratted on him, so they go bust him, and it makes her look like she's telling the truth. And that is true, Angela. It could be immunity from those charges. Uh, but I know that there was something said about that today, and they did talk about that there may have to be a hearing on the fact of if he's going to be granted immunity or not. So I don't know if he will be up there tomorrow on the stand, if they even have court, because it is a chance that they may not have court due to the snow that they're supposed to get. Um, Tabitha Smith, which was in the car with them one day when they had a car accident. She is also supposed to testify one day. And I did hear the judge ask them, like, will she be testifying tomorrow? Because if she is, we need to put in a transfer order to get her to the courthouse. And they said no, that she would not be testifying tomorrow. So apparently she's in jail too. But she is the person uh, that was in the car with them before Harmony died. And they had an accident. Adam was driving. Tabitha was sitting in the front passenger seat. Uh, Avery, that I don't know. I didn't know she was in jail until they were talking today about getting a transfer order for her to get to the courthouse. Uh, so apparently, Adam was driving. Tabitha was in the front passenger seat. Kayla was in the back seat next to Harmony, and then the two kids, the two boys. Okay, so they are getting a dusting of snow. Everything is open in New Hampshire. Okay, thank you, your team mama, because I know that apparently they were supposed to get like a large amount of snow, and the judge had been keeping up with it. And then whenever they ended for the day, she said it was only supposed to be like 3 inches. So she is anticipating that court will be open uh, tomorrow. So, but according to the state, Tabitha will not be testifying tomorrow. And Avery, were you asking what Tabitha was in jail for? Because that I'm not sure, but I'm sure once she gets on the stand, it will be brought up. Uh, okay, yeah, Tabitha, I don't know. Michelle, I agree. That's what irritates the hell out of me. Because if they're, don't get me wrong, I do know that people will get a plea deal from the state, but they didn't even put in the plea agreement that she had to tell them where the baby's body was or what Adam did with her. It was like she's supposed to tell everything up to that point, and then she doesn't know anything else. She doesn't know what he did with her, and I think she's lying. See, I'm too old to go outside of the courthouse to scream justice, but I'm tempted. Liza, if I lived closer, I would do it. Who else is there to get justice for Harmony? I mean, her mama was there. Uh, her mama testified, was on the stand for like a hot 5 minutes. But is she still at the courthouse? Is she sitting in the courtroom every day when this is going on? Because once she has testified and she has been released, she can then come back into the courtroom and listen to the rest of the testimony. And I know that they have, you know, the camera has panned out across the courtroom at certain times, but I don't remember seeing Crystal Sorey in the courtroom. So it could be the fact that uh, it's too hurtful for her to be in there. Honestly, if I was in her situation, I would not want to be sitting in a courtroom looking at the lady who could have done something about my child getting murdered and done nothing. So it could be that. And Yorkie Mama, no, I don't have the plea agreement, but they have talked about it in the courtroom. Hey, Avery, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you? You sound sicker.
Yes, it's like every day my voice is getting worse, so I'm more than
Ugh,
likely by the end of the week I probably won't have a voice.
ugh.
So that's why I didn't even talk today when I was live because I was trying to rest it. So it's every day that I went and got honey.
Hold on, let me turn my Wi-Fi off.
Okay. She only cared about getting Harmony's monthly bill. Margaret, that's it. The food stamps for her. They claimed her on their taxes. They got her monthly, probably SSI check that she would get every month, but didn't give a shit about anything else that had to do with her. No clean
So
clothes.
today I thought that the defense had Kayla when the defense was talking about Adam taking
Uh
the
huh.
fall, and she said, and Adam said that he would take the fall, and Kayla was like, yes, and I was like, oh my God, they got her, they got her,
Uh-huh.
because if Adam was guilty, then why would he be agreeing to take the fall?
That's
And
what
I,
I put in chat. If we know he did it, so what is he taking the fall for?
yeah. And so I was like, oh my God, they got her. They got her. And then it turned into take the fall for saying that Harmony went to her mother's. But you know what? I don't think that's it. I think that that defense attorney, I think she's smarter than what I'm giving her credit for. And I
Mm,
think she just left it at that for right now. But I have a feeling that that's going to come back into play.
I don't know. I somehow when like I was waiting when the defense was up there and they were questioning her. And don't get me wrong, I don't like the defense because they are representing him, even though they're doing their job. They're
Yeah.
representing a man who murdered his 5-year-old baby. But I was like, damn, like every time she would ask a question, I was waiting for the boom to come. And
Yeah.
then out of nowhere, and it happened so fast that I literally missed it. She was like, I have no further questions.
Well,
And she goes
I
and
don't.
sits down. I'm like, what?
So can Kayla be called back? Did they, when they dismissed her, did they dismiss her with no further recall, or did they dismiss her where she can be called back? Or did they even say?
I don't I don't remember.
Because I just feel like there was
Okay.
more to that. It was like like I felt like it was like right on the tip of that defense attorney's tongue, you know, like
Uh,
we got her. We got her. She just admitted that Adam said he would take the fall. We got her.
Right.
And I felt like it was just like right there. And then,
They hit a brick wall.
yeah.
And Angela said yes, she can be recalled. So
Okay. So
okay.
maybe, I don't know, but I'm sort of thinking that there's going to be more to that. There's going to be more to it.
I don't know, man, but like she was that that defense attorney, she was building it up. Like
Yeah.
I'm just thinking at any time, like Kayla, when she slipped up about the opening statement, and the defense attorney was like, "How do you know about what was said in in opening statements? Who told you that?" And Kayla was like, yeah, my attorney. I'm sorry, I'm not all here today. Can you rephrase the question?" And
Yeah.
then they go to break, and it's supposed to be 15 minutes, and it turns into 30.
Oh,
And
yeah.
there was a rumor that Kayla was no longer there. They were done for the day, and then all of a sudden Kayla comes back in, and she's like, got this look on her face, and she is side-eyed the judge. She's staring at the defense attorney. She's no
Yeah.
longer relaxed. She's sitting there with her arms crossed in front of her, and I was like, damn, I was waiting for the big boo. Like,
Yeah. I noticed her whole attitude was different today. And, like it just, it's so mind boggling to me considering what she's testifying about, that she's sitting there so smug,
just a
so
straight,
like as if she's better than everybody else.
a
It
straight face,
freaking infuriates me.
literally a straight face.
I don't think, okay, my opinion, I, I don't think that Kayla liked Harmony, because I think Kayla is borderline obsessed with Adam. I think she's in love with him, but I think it's like a kind of like an obsession slash love type thing.
Uh-huh.
And just because Harmony came from another woman, I feel like maybe Kayla didn't like Harmony.
Right.
And
She was
I
a little
wouldn't
bit of jealousy between Harmony and her two kids, because at
right.
the time she only had the two boys.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I wouldn't be surprised to find out that they both did this to Harmony. Both her and Adam did it to Harmony together. I wouldn't be surprised.
I think she's lying about knowing where Harmony was put. I think she's lying about that, because if you think about it, she was there for everything else. She was there for when the murder happened. She was there when Adam put this baby in the bag in the car.
Hmm.
They walked to the friends. They went to her mama's and put this baby in a cooler. Uh,
It's just unreal. God.
right, went to the homeless shelter, took the baby from the homeless shelter while in the bag, put her in the bottom of this double stroller, and walked her to the pie company where he was working at, knowing that he was going to put her in the freezer. Uh, then helped him at the apartment where they finally moved into, uh,
Hmm.
and helped him cut her clothes off. She was there for the whole thing,
Yeah,
but she wasn't with him when he disposed of the body.
right.
I
It's
don't
weird.
believe it.
Hmm.
Why are you with him through everything, and he's sitting here telling you he's gonna take the fall for everything, but the most important part of it, of where he put her, you wasn't there. I call horseshit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The other thing is, why hasn't she divorced him? She's got free legal services, so why, like you would think that with her testifying against him, you would think that would be one of the first things that she would do, but it's like she wants to stay married to him.
Okay, let me ask you this though, because he's in prison in New Hampshire. Does New Hampshire have conjugal visits?
Oh, you just made me throw up in my mouth.
Because if you remember what she wrote in that letter, what she wanted her kids, she wanted full immunity, she wanted another night with him so she can hold him, kiss him, and do other things.
I mean, what has he got, like the golden pecker? Who the heck
I,
is
somebody said
asleep?
that earlier. He about because if you think once she left him, okay, he had the other two girlfriends. One of them he met, and she got on the scene and testified. Uh, she met him in rehab, and then he had Kelsey. Isn't Kelsey the one who died that she was found deceased?
Oh, yeah, yeah. In,
Okay.
like, in a hotel room or something, she had overdosed?
Yes, something like that.
Yeah.
Um, King Scarlet, I agree. King Scarlet says that doesn't sound like an abused woman. Don't sound like a woman who's
It
scared of this
doesn't.
man if she's sitting there saying that she wants another night with him. Why the
Ugh.
hell would you want another night with him if you know that he did this, if you're claiming that he has abused you? And I'm not saying that she's lying about being abused by, okay, because we did see the picture of the bruises, so I'm not gonna take that away from her and say she's lying about being abused, because I do believe that is possible. Uh, but why do you want to? If you're so scared of him, knowing everything that he did, why why do you want another night with him? Why is it so hard for you to let go? Why do you love him, even though he's the father of your kids? That's the reason to get rid of the motherfucker and not have nothing to do with him because of what he did to you and to his daughter, and possibly could have done to your kids.
And she's still proclaiming this sober. Like, she's sober now,
Yeah,
and she's still proclaiming. I mean, mm, um, was it today? Whatever. Yeah, it was today that she said that she still cared about him, and it was hard to
yeah.
let go.
That's when she, like I said, that
And
prosecutor. He's very tall, slender, younger guy, probably I don't know, maybe early 30s, middle 30s.
mhm,
Very soft spoken. He basically babies the hell out of her when he gets up to talk to her. So when he
yeah,
starts bringing up about what she had went through and what Adam had done to her, she starts crying. The waterworks, man. Like like it was
yeah,
like the whole flipping pipe busted, and you couldn't stop the tears. But when she's talking about Harmony and what Harmony went through,
nothing,
nothing,
no emotion.
nothing. She was giving these little smirk looks to the defense attorney. She was kind of wanting to get an attitude with her a little
Yeah,
bit, and stuff like that. But nothing,
that
no
is what
emotions for
I
Harmony.
gotta tell you. I almost fell out of my damn chair when I heard that one of her requests was to have one more night with him. I literally almost hit the floor. I was like, am I really hearing this?"
And
Like,
this letter was written and found before she went and testified before the grand jury.
God.
She talks about in that letter about before she betrays him, this is what she wants. She goes on to testify before the grand jury, and she lies.
I mean, it just makes no sense to me
She
at
didn't want him
all.
to get in trouble. That
It
was
doesn't add up. I remember years ago when we worked with domestic violence victims, a lot of that this is kind of graphic, but it's important. But a lot of the women who had been like severely abused, by their significant others,
uh,
they actually had problems in the bedroom, doing the act. Like, they weren't able to become aroused because of what they had been through.
right.
And so it just doesn't add up to me that this girl witnessed all of this and she still is aroused by the thought of being with him. It does not make sense at all. Mm-mm.
It don't. I,
Nope.
that's why it's very hard for me to get past the fact of her saying that she does not know where Harmony is at. I can't get past it.
Yeah,
Your best friend, usually you tell your best friend everything. Uh,
right.
you're there throughout all of it. You even say that you went to the hotel where Adam left with her body
Hmm.
and disposed of her. You carried the lie on for years, being
Yeah.
questioned that she was taken to her mama's house. You didn't want him to get in trouble, but you mean to sit here and tell me you don't know where she's at? And the reason why she's not telling where this baby is at because they don't know for 100% fact if
Hmm.
that baby is still there or not. Because there is a chance
Yeah.
that she's not there, but there is a chance that she still is there. And if they were to, if they could find her and possibly do an autopsy on her, her death could be completely different.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I agree. Now, I was wondering, people were commenting about whether or not they receive Social Security benefits for Harmony. Now, would Social Security be, would that be state or would that be federal?
That's federal.
Okay, so I wonder if they're not going to slap her with federal charge, because so that
Hell,
would be,
she claimed Harmony on her taxes after she was deceased, and her reason was, well, she lived at least 6 months with us, because, and that is true.
mhm,
A dependent who lives at least 6 months with you in your household, you can claim them as a dependent on your tax returns.
yeah,
Okay, but she was also deceased, and
mhm,
you're supposed to, it asks you when you're doing this, is this dependent in school, is this
yeah,
dependent disabled, is this dependent, did they live at least half the year with you, is this dependent deceased?
right.
So she lied on the taxes. So
So
where the hell is that at? That's fraud. Where?
that's what I'm wondering, is if they're waiting for this to be over and then they're going to slap her with federal charges. Like, I just get the feeling that they're not done with her yet.
Well, they need to do it before May, because if she gets out, if she served her time, she's out. There's no parole. There's no probation. There's this chick can go grab her three kids and leave, and nobody ever know where she's at.
Well, who has her kids right now? Do you know?
That I don't know, but they did ask her about her kids today, and she says that she can't have any contact with them. She has no parental rights to them. She can't see them. None of that. So I don't
Good.
know if they went into the system and was put into foster care and maybe adopted, or if family has them. That I don't know. Maybe she doesn't even know where they're at. But
Wow.
that was one of the conditions of her in this plea agreement, was that she wanted her kids full immunity, one more night with Adam. And there was a couple of other things that was
I
in that
just
letter. I
can't,
forgot what it was, but
I just can't get past that one more night. You know, they need to sterilize her before they let her back out. They need to make sure she can't produce.
that is true. That is true.
Gosh.
Uh,
So, because I know I've seen like in the news a lot of times where people's parents and stuff pass away, and then the kids, they don't notify, Social Security about their parents getting like their oh heck, what is it that you
you,
get once you're a certain age?
your social security.
Social Security.
Yeah.
I'm getting it confused because Harmony would have gotten
SSI.
SSI because
Yes.
she's a kid, right? Okay.
Yes.
And I see all the time in the news where, people are getting charged where they just maybe even didn't know, and money was just going into their parents' account. But that's why I just kind of wonder if when this is done, if there's not
I
more
hope so.
coming.
I
I
hope.
I, I think there is. I bet you.
Like I said, I believe in karma, and I think that karma's got a huge hit list. And I think right now karma's looking at Kayla and Adam at the top of her hit list.
Yeah.
And I don't wish death
I
on nobody, even her and Adam. I don't wish death on nobody. But
I
I
see
hope
it.
they rot in the deepest depths of hell
Oh
in
God,
that
yeah.
house.
Yeah. I seen a picture of Adam on social media the other day. I almost saved it and then I forgot. And it was not long after Harmony was born, and he's standing in the hospital holding her. Have you seen that picture?
No, I did see a picture though of him and Kayla in Harmony when Harmony was up a little bit older, and they were all in a picture together.
Oh, okay. Well, this one is when Harmony was itty bitty, and Adam has glasses on. He doesn't have all the tattoos. He only has the teardrop tattoo.
Uh,
And then Harmony's in his arms. She must be one, maybe. I don't know. Looks like they're at a hospital appointment or something. And she has her glasses on. And I didn't realize how much they look alike until I seen that picture. Harmony, it was literally Adam's twin. They are so identical, and he looks like a completely different person in that picture.
okay,
Like,
so the picture that I saw of him, he has glasses on and everything,
Hmm.
and I kept having to look at it, and then I finally realized that it was Adam.
Yeah, because he looks so different.
Yeah, I mean, look at Kayla on the stand. She looks nothing like she did in her mugshot.
She's still ugly.
Yeah, that I don't know if she had a piercing in her lip or not, in her bottom lip, but it looks like there's a hole there, and I just want to stick a damn fish hook in it.
She has one of those upside down smiles. Like, how you see people that it's just their regular resting face, their mouth curves downward
Yeah,
instead
because
of,
she's got a resting bitch face.
yeah, and I don't know if it's just because of what I know about her is why I think she's so ugly.
Hmm.
I mean, that could be it, that just because of everything I know about her. But her first arrest photo, ooh, she looked like a straight up hood rat. That was bad.
Hold on, I think that's the one you sent to me, right? On
Yeah,
Discord. Okay, hold on, I'm gonna
yeah.
pull it up.
God, it's so bad. That picture's,
Let me go
ooh.
get it. Yeah, she looks nothing
Do you
like.
know when she was first arrested and I first seen that picture, the
Hmm.
one that you're getting ready to show,
Uh
because
huh.
of just because of her hair being the way it was, I wasn't positive what race she was. That's
But
how
no,
different she looks to me. She even she even looks darker. Like
yeah, and her
now,
hair. Are they letting her have a straightening iron in the jail? I'm being serious because in this picture that I'm bringing up, her hair is looks to be like it's very coarse and curly, and that
yes.
could be just because she hadn't taken a bath, um, or what. But this is what she looked like when she was arrested.
Can
This is
you
after
imagine?
Harmony
Like
has passed away.
how long? How long would you have to go without washing your hair for it to look like that?
I don't
That,
know
that
because I watch mine every other night.
but see,
So
I just
uh,
remember seeing this mugshot and thinking to myself, I didn't know if she had like Puerto Rican in her or maybe some African. Like I wasn't positive what she was, but I did not think she was a Caucasian woman.
well, I will tell you, if I would not have heard them in court Friday call her name out to come get on the stand, and I would have just come into the trial after she was up there for a while, I
Yeah.
would not have realized that it was her.
Well, you see how tan her skin is,
Uh-huh.
and in court she's extremely pale, like white, real pale.
Hmm.
It just doesn't even look like the same person.
Not at all.
So, are her eyes swollen like that from drugs? Is that like a drug look or something?
I think that they're giving her medicine in prison,
No, I
and
mean in this mugshot.
probably it looks like she's high in this picture.
Mm-mm-mm. And then there's another mugshot of her that
Is it
isn't.
really?
There's another one of her where her hair is straight, but she is messed up in that photo. You want me to see if I can find it and send it to you?
Hold on, wait. We fixing to Google it.
Because it is rough. I was like, oh my gosh.
Let me see if I can find it.
But her hair's straightened in it,
Okay, hold on. I got it right here.
but damn her face.
She was very high in this picture right here. She's got a black shirt on.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the one I just failed. Hold on. Let me get
And
the
Adam
picture.
doesn't look like that bad in any of his mugshot photos. He doesn't look that messed up.
No, I just like to punch him in his damn head though.
Yeah. But it could be that she had the bigger drug problem. I don't know. Yep, that's it. Look at her face.
She looks nothing like that now. Nothing.
It's mind blowing.
Crazy. She is completely high in this picture. Her hair, it looks like she hasn't washed her hair in a month.
I mean, I just I'm trying not to be like too judgmental because that other
Shit,
mugshot
I am.
picture,
She's at this point. She's free
when,
game.
when I wake up in the morning, my hair looks like that first mugshot picture. So I can't.
Well, I mean, mine does too because mine is naturally curly, If if I wash it and I don't dry it and straighten it, or just don't straighten it at all, it is very curly like that.
Yeah.
But this woman here, she's free game, honestly. After
It's
she
just,
got up there and said what she said today about letting that baby sit in urine and feces and not cleaning her, only changing her clothes, but yet she didn't clean her clothes, that
I
tells me
hate
she's
her.
putting dirty clothes back on that little girl. And because Adam said let her sit in it, that's why she didn't clean it. So more than likely she had rash and
Yeah.
all that.
Oh,
That
she
bitch is
probably
fair
had a
game.
UTI.
Yeah,
She probably had a
she's
UTI. Now,
she's
I did catch her in one lie, and it's the only one I've caught her in that that isn't from the grand jury. It's a
uh,
current lie. So the other day, she said that when they pulled off from the methadone clinic and were driving to Burger King, that while he was driving, he had one hand on the steering wheel and he was reaching back and he was hitting Harmony
mhm,
while driving.
mhm.
Then today or Friday, I don't remember which, she changed it and she said, no, it was when he was at the stoplight.
Yeah, the each time he stopped at a stoplight, that's when he did it.
Uh-huh. So that is one lie that I did catch her in. But so far, that's the only current
Mhm.
thing that I've actually caught.
I'm still trying to figure out the 2 a.m. incident and then the incident after between the methadone clinic and Burger King. Because at the 2 a.m. incident, when Harmony has the accident, she tells Adam to stop hitting her. That's enough. And then he gives her the look. And that's the only time that she saw the look. It's when she tried to stop him and he gave her this look that she had never seen before. But then she goes back and she says if he did this between the clinic and Burger King, she tells Adam to stop, that's enough, and he gives her this look, so she didn't say anything else. So which is it? Which time? And that's why the defense is thinking that she died at 2 o'clock in the morning, and this
Mm-hmm.
whole time they were driving around, she was deceased. So
Jesus.
I'm sorry, dude would have gave me a look if he's sitting there hitting his kid, and I'm telling him to stop, and he gives me a look, I'm gonna claw his eyes out, plain and simple.
She had too many opportunities to speak up, and
Uh-huh.
she can't say that it was because she was scared of him or his uncle, because if any of the times, like when he was at work at the pie company or whenever he wasn't around, if she would have picked up the phone, called the police, or even sent the police to the pie company and said, "Hey, Harmony is in the freezer."
she
Now,
could have she
how
could
does
have told the people at the before she took Harmony to the pie company. She
yeah,
could have told the people at the homeless shelter. They would have called the police because Adam at
yeah,
that time wasn't there during the day. He was working. She
yeah,
could have went right in and told them people what had happened, and
hmm,
they would have helped her, called police, and they would have Adam would have never knew it, and police
yeah,
would have come in, found Harmony's remains, and went straight and arrested his ass before he had a chance to get rid of her.
yeah. And so there would have been nothing for her to be scared of because there's no way
Exactly.
he was going to get to her. No, I just believe wholeheartedly that she was very much in on this.
Yeah. She didn't want nobody to get in trouble.
She is only taking this plea to get herself out of trouble. She's just thinking about herself.
That's it. She didn't do it to get justice for Harmony
No.
at all. She makes me sick. I was so mad today when I sit there. I even said it before the tears started. I was like, if she starts crying about what she went through after not crying and talking about what Harmony went through, I'm gonna lose my shit. I had to get up and
Yeah.
walk away from the computer. I was that mad because at
Yeah.
that point she proved that she was not there for Harmony.
And the way she comes walking in that courtroom, like as if her shit don't stink. Like
Mm-hmm.
she's got like a, I don't know, she's got like this walk. Have you noticed it when
She
she's
comes.
coming?
Yeah, she walks in there like, I'm doing y'all a favor.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes. It drives me crazy.
yeah. So have you noticed when the camera pans out across the people in the courtroom, in the gallery? Have you noticed if uh, Harmony's bio mom is in there?
Oh, I've been looking for her and I haven't seen her. I
Okay.
don't think I'm not positive that she's in there.
Okay, because I believe when they let her off the stand that she was released. So if you're released, you can stay and watch the rest of
Yeah.
the trial. But so I don't know if she's in there. Somebody did say something about she was pregnant again.
Oh boy.
um, and if she's not in there, that could be a reason if she is pregnant. Because when she went and got on the stand the other day, I wasn't paying attention to if she's pregnant or not.
Don't
Um,
these people know what birth control is? Jesus Lord.
uh, apparently not. But it could be a thing where she doesn't want to be in there while Kayla was on the stand. Because me personally, I could not sit in there, like I said earlier, knowing that this woman that is on the stand testifying did not help my child and my child ended up deceased. I
Yeah.
could, I would go to jail. I
Oh
would,
yeah.
I would pull the dude that jumped on the judge. I wouldn't jump on the judge, but I would make a beeline straight for the the stand because I would jump her.
Definitely.
And if she is pregnant, that is going to be very upsetting for her. So maybe she chose not to be in there, or be there to listen to some of this evidence or whatever.
Well,
Uh,
now, does she have custody of her little, she does not have custody of her little boy, right?
Jameson, no.
So if she's pregnant again, is she even going to be able to keep it?
I hope. I mean, I hope that she is clean for good now.
Is she married? Do we know?
That I don't know.
Well, I know she said she lives closer. She
Does
said
she?
she said that I think she just lives like an hour away, and she just moved there a year and a half ago.
Okay.
So she's closer, but
I know that the little boy was adopted out, and I have seen the adopted dad
yeah.
post a couple of times on Twitter,
Hmm.
and he's posted pictures of the baby and said that he will make sure that this little boy, his name is Jameson, that he will make sure that Jameson knows how much Harmony loved him and will always love him. And
Yeah.
he will always make sure that Harmony's memory is kept alive so Jameson will know who she is.
Yeah, I heard him say he had wished that there was a way that they could have gotten Harmony.
They would have taken her. They would have taken care of
Yeah.
her. Just if you look at the pictures of this little boy, he's the cutest little boy ever.
Oh, and I mean Harmony, she's so stinking adorable.
Right.
I don't understand how I don't get how people can hurt children, either way, but she's like obnoxiously cute. She's just freaking
How can a
absolutely
mother, even though Kayla's not Harmony's bio mother, how can a mother of any child sit back and let something like that happen and not do something
um,
to protect her?
I
Because
don't
you're
get it.
so flippin' pansy ass scared that the dude is going to hit you. So
Yeah,
you sit back and let him hit on a 5-year-old baby.
yeah,
Blows my mind.
yeah. It really is mind blowing.
I don't
It
understand
really
it.
is.
I mean,
Mm-mm-mm.
even the foster mom, they would have taken her.
Yeah, yeah. That lady. Oh, she was so emotional. And what was the reason that she couldn't keep Harmony anymore?
Um, so apparently the state had asked her, I mean, not the state, I'm sorry, the defense had asked her about Harmony when she was taken out of the foster mom's house uh, and was sent to a therapeutic foster home.
Yeah.
The foster mom says she didn't know that because she didn't know the foster parents, so she didn't know if it was a therapeutic place or whatever. But I think the medical conditions that Harmony had uh,
Hmm.
was something that this foster mom didn't have experience with, and,
Oh, okay.
and so it might have been overwhelming for her because she did say that Harmony had a whole team of doctors,
Yeah.
so
And
that could have been the reason.
so then it went from Harmony being there in the therapeutic foster home, and then Harmony went back living with Crystal, And then Adam took Crystal for custody. Is that
Well,
correct?
the way that Crystal explained it, so okay, so Harmony's born. 2 months later, Harmony goes to the foster mom that testified. Um, then at some point, she leaves there and goes to this other foster home. And I guess Crystal got her back, but then Crystal realized that she's going through addiction. She can't properly care for her, so she ends up going back to the foster mom's house that adopted her, and they had her in school. That's where uh, that picture that we've all seen where Harmony's got her holding her hands up close to her face
Oh,
uh,
yeah.
with the blue dress on. Uh,
Yeah. So
that's the
cute.
blue. That blue dress is what the foster mom bought. She said that was her school picture, and all she wanted was a blue sparkly dress. And this is the blue sparkly dress that we bought for her school pictures. Um, she did say that they had started the whole potty training process with Harmony, and that when she went back to Crystal, that Crystal finished it up. So she did at least do that. Like Harmony was completely potty trained.
Yeah.
But when a kid goes through trauma, or
Oh,
they're
yeah.
with people that they're scared, or they get fussed at or hollered at for no reason,
Mm-hmm.
they're scared to say, I need to go to the bathroom, or I'm hungry. I
Yeah.
need something to drink. They're scared. And she probably got to the point she would hold it as long as she could because she was scared to say something about needing to go to the bathroom, and she just couldn't hold it anymore.
I just wonder how Adam managed to get custody. I mean, did he have I guess he must have had a job and
I don't know.
and what about the CPS worker who never could find Harmony? And I mean, what did he do? Just give up
I
looking
mean,
for her?
he testified.
Yeah, but he never really said like why he quit looking for her. I
Well,
mean,
it probably the reason why he didn't do anything was probably not in his notes, and so therefore he couldn't answer it because everything that he was asked he had to refer to his notes.
but I remember something about police or CPS workers or somebody going out to the house on Guilford Street and there was no electricity, there was no running water, and the kids were living in there and they let Adam stay that way with the kids. I remember that very
That
specifically.
that turns into neglect.
So
How do
was
you
that CPS or was that the police? I think it was
so
CPS.
Guilford? That's where they live with the grandmother, right?
I,
Where
I'm not
Uncle
sure.
Kevin was at and all this and that, and then they were staying there, and the mortgage didn't get paid, so that's when they
Yeah,
got
that's it.
evicted.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where they were living at whenever CPS showed up when Uncle Kevin called about the black eye. And hey, Liz, he says whenever he was pulling up, he saw Harmony and Adam get into the car, and he could see like a red spot on her eye. And then whenever he went got face to face with her, he could see like the bruising had already started fading. And remember, Uncle Kevin didn't call CPS until a week later after he saw it.
Uh-huh.
Uh, but I can't remember.
But I remember there was no electricity, there was no running water,
Well, at
and
that point, it becomes that should right there become a neglect case. It's wintertime. How do you have kids living in a house with no electricity, no running water?
right.
Did they have heat?
See, I kind of see. I think the state, I think that I don't know if there's going to be lawsuits against the state, but I think they're just as much at fault here too. For
Yeah.
failing Harmony. God,
Yeah, Liza, she was. She died in December 2019. Oh, yes, this was another thing that was said today. So something was brought up about when their car broke down and they left and they walked to their friend Anthony's house. Anthony brought them back to the car. He drove them back up there so they could get the rest of their stuff out of the car. And while they were there, Adam was trying to clean the back seat at where Harmony was at. And it was brought up that he had blood on his hand. And Kayla kept trying to say, well, it wasn't from that day, though. It was dry blood from a couple of days ago. And, or a couple of days before that. And she said, well, the defense was like, well, you said something about Harmony had blood on her. Was it dry blood? And Kayla said, yeah. And she said, so you're telling me that it was dry blood from a couple of days before that? And Kayla was like, yeah, it was dry blood from a couple of days before that. And she was like, and you didn't clean it off of this baby's face? And
But
Kayla was like, no.
But remember, the other day, Kayla testified that she never seen blood on Harmony ever.
Exactly.
Oh, I hope they get her. Oh, I hope they get her.
Well, if she can be recalled, I'm waiting for the boom from the defense. I don't like
Yeah.
them, but I'm waiting for the boom.
Oh, yeah.
Kayla said we just kept her under the blanket. Yeah, that's under the blanket.
So sick.
And then she said at one time that whenever they were living, while their car was still running, and they were staying at the Colonial Village apartments, that Anthony never saw Harmony because she always stayed in the back seat under the blanket, so he never seen her. Did she testify today that he saw her a couple of times?
Oh, you're right.
So
Yep.
which was it? So
You're
more
right.
than likely, the defense is so keen on proving her uh, out to be a liar, which she has already done. But
Mm-hmm.
they could be going back and re-listening to everything she is saying word for word, where they can actually sit down and listen to it at night and
Yeah.
get notes and try to catch her somewhere where she
Right.
has slipped
Right.
up, and they just didn't catch it in court.
I hope they do. I really do.
And the state's got to. Are they embarrassed? I mean,
Jeez.
this woman.
The attorney for the state, the tall guy,
Uh,
his
what was his name?
voice, I know his voice from somewhere.
He's very soft spoken, uh, and I think she gravitated to that because he doesn't raise his voice with her. Uh, he's talking to her like he's talking to a baby.
You talking about the tall,
Yeah, the younger one.
skinny guy?
Yeah,
Yeah. But
yeah.
where do I know his voice from? Like, it's not just like his voice is a little familiar. I know his voice from somewhere.
Have we heard any other cases from New Hampshire?
I wonder if he interviewed, you know what? I think he's the one who interviewed Adam. That's exactly where it's from. He interviewed Adam. There
Okay,
was an
like
interrogation video. That's exactly what it was.
okay.
Dang, that's only been driving me crazy for days.
Yeah, I noticed that though. How she feels comfortable with that guy when he was asking her questions.
Yeah,
She is completely comfortable with him.
because
But
she
she
thinks prosecution are her friends.
right, but she hates that defense attorney, the lady, because the other defense attorney never talked to her. But she hates the lady. She acts so entitled to Angela. Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier. She walks in the courtroom like uh, she's
Like she
better than
owns the
everybody.
place.
Yeah, like she's doing them a favor, but
Yeah,
bitch, you're only trying to do yourself a favor. You
she's she.
should be. She should be doing Harmony a favor,
I would
but
be like, I would never be in her situation, but I would be going in that courtroom with my head hung down of embarrassment, shame.
she has
I
no shame.
mean, you name it.
She
I
has no.
probably couldn't even like make eye contact with people if I had done something
Girl,
that horrible.
she was sad when she came back in after that 30-minute break, and she was mad. Like she had this mad look on her face. She was side eyed the judge.
Yeah, she was.
Like I don't think she likes, if it's a woman, she don't like them. She likes the men.
Now, in this case, because I don't know how it works there, who hands down the sentence? Is it the jury or the judge?
Well, since it's not a DP case, the judge would,
Okay.
because I believe in a DP case, and it would be the jury if they recommend the death penalty. And
Mm.
I think at that point it has to be unanimous
This is one case where I really wish that they were a death penalty state.
because these two deserve it.
Yeah. And they got something in that refrigerator that was in their apartment. I remember watching on the news when
Yes, that's
they
what I said earlier. I remember us sitting back watching uh, that video when all of the media was out there and nobody knew what was going on.
yeah,
And here they
and
come rolling out with this refrigerator out of
the
that
whole,
apartment.
yeah, the whole fridge. And I just how could she feed that's the other thing too, is like how can you even eat something out of this refrigerator where a body like that is just so beyond me. And the people who ate at
At the
the
pie place,
the pie place, they're probably sick for life, I swear.
yeah.
Like
I,
mentally sick.
I mean, does that open up for
Oh,
lawsuit? Well, now it's not the Portland Pie Company. It's a bank there now. But could that possibly open up lawsuits for people who ate there during the time that this little girl was?
especially if they got sick. And
Yeah,
they could have because it becomes hazardous, material,
it's a
like the fluids and
bio
everything. Yeah,
biohazard. Yeah.
biohazard. Oh gosh, it makes me never want to eat out again.
So what happened to her attorney for telling Kayla what was said? Nothing, Margaret. I mean,
So what,
it
like,
was brought up that he told her that to help her prepare for the questions that was coming up, but nothing happened.
is it something that she wasn't supposed to be told? Is that why it was such a big deal?
I wouldn't think that she was supposed to be told because she wasn't in there. And whenever you get on the stand, you don't get to hear before you get on the stand, you don't get to hear what was said in the courtroom
Yeah.
until you're released from being a witness. And apparently, her attorney was in there, which is normal. Lori Val or Chad Daybells was there every day for Lori's trial, but Chad
Mhm.
also was not testifying in Lori's trial, so it was okay if his attorney went back and told him what was said.
Mhm.
In this case, opening statements happen, and her attorney goes back and tells her what the state said in their opening statements,
Mm.
and I don't think he was supposed to.
Yeah. Adam thinks he's slick. He thinks he's making the jury think that he's, being open and honest by pleading guilty to two of those charges. But I don't think it's going to work in his favor.
No, and I don't think they're going to take into account anything that Kayla said.
That's what I worry about is if the jury doesn't believe Kayla and Adam gets off with this, then nobody is going to be held responsible for Harmony's death. And that's going to just absolutely infuriate me. It's just,
At that point, if they get out, I think it'll be street justice that gets them.
well, he's serving life for the weapons, right?
30 years. I mean, you might as well
Oh,
say life. He's what,
yeah.
34, 35 now? Uh, he'll be 60 something if
Yeah.
he, just for that case. So more than likely he'll be in there for the rest of his life. Even if he
Kayla,
doesn't get life for Harmony's case and he just get years added on, I don't think he'll ever get out.
mm. Wow.
It's a very disgusting case, honestly.
You know what it reminds me of? Do you remember that blonde that blonde girl? She had she played in a Lifetime movie. Um, Oh, goodness gracious. Why can't I think of anyhow, it's years ago. It's a blonde girl, and she got this boyfriend,
Uh-huh.
and the boyfriend wanted her to get her little sister drunk and do things to her little sister. Then they ended up getting married, and then he became a serial killer. And she helped him. She would help him get girls, kidnap girls. Um,
I don't
that's
guess
what it,
I've watched that one.
gosh, that's what they remind me of. Like Kayla would, because that's how this girl was. She would do anything for this guy.
Well,
He would,
apparently, Adam, when he got the girlfriend in rehab, uh, she said that he told her that he was married, and his wife would do anything for him.
yeah, I believe it too.
Yeah, she's proved that. But I don't guess I know. Jerry says the Ken and Barbie murders.
That's it. Ken and Barbie murders. That's
I've
exactly
never,
it.
I've
Yep.
never heard of that.
It's a true story. He ended up killing a lot of women, a lot of girls. Um, and she was so in love with him that she would basically do all the things that Kayla's been doing. And then
Uh,
she tried to play it off like she was scared, but they ended up finding her guilty as well.
it's a shame she didn't get more charges in this case.
Who was it that knew the name of that?
Jerry.
Good going, Jerry.
Yeah, I don't guess I've ever seen that one.
Yeah, she was working at a vet and she brought home some kind of tranquilizer or something
Oh,
because he
good
wanted
lord.
he wanted a virgin for his Christmas present. So she drugged her own little sister so that he could do that. And then I think the little sister ended up passing away. And then it just went from there onto this big, huge killing
How
spree.
how old was the sister?
I think she was like 14,
Oh my
maybe.
god,
Uh-huh.
that is crazy to
Yeah.
do to your own sister.
Yep.
I'm just trying to catch up here. Liza said, "Good story. She was totally insane. She was just batshit crazy. She's out of jail now.
Oh, is she?
That's what Sarah Beth says. She's out of jail now.
Holy moly. What's her name in real life? Sarah Beth. Golly. Well, I mean, this was, I believe, in the 80s, so, but still,
Let's see if I can find her Carla Leanne
that's it.
Homova.
Yep, that's it. Carla. Yeah.
She was known as Carla Leanne Teal, and Leanne
Hmm.
Cordelis.
Yeah.
She's a Canadian SK who acted as an accomplice to her husband, Paul Bernardo, Bar- Bernardo, taking active part in the R's and murders of at least three minors in Ontario.
Okay, I thought it was a lot more than that. I think some of the girls escaped, actually, but I thought it was a lot more than that.
And she's got a BA in psychology.
Oh, Jesus.
I hope she is not practicing anywhere.
Oh, God, me too.
Dear Jesus. It says she's 53 now.
But that's what Kayla reminds me of is her because that's how like she was just so in love with this guy that she would just do, like whatever he wanted. And then she finally did turn on him in the end, but it wasn't until he started beating her, hitting her and stuff like that is when she finally turned on him. And then she tried to pull the same thing, that she was scared of him and stuff.
Uh,
That's kind of what it reminds me of. There ain't no man in this world that could get me to do anything of,
nope.
of that sort.
Nope.
Like,
But it does say in the little summary thing about her, it does say that they were responsible for 13 essays, but it's using the other word,
Yeah,
and three murders in and around Toronto between 1986 and 92.
yeah, that sounds about right. And I know there was some that escaped. Yeah, he would torture them too, and she'd watch. It's
Yeah,
awful.
because it says that he was found guilty of 9 different charges in 1995, including kidnapping, unlawful confinement, unlawful aggravated assault, murder, and was sentenced to life in prison. She had been a fixation of a Canadian murderer, Luke Magnotta, who, okay, so was featured in a segment in the 2019 Netflix documentary miniseries, Don't F with Cats, Hunting an Internet Murderer.
Whoa. I think I watched it on Lifetime. I want to say it was Lifetime. That was one of the cases that got me into true crime. Um, that one and Small Sacrifices, Diane Downs, that one, and then of course Lacey Peterson.
Wow.
Those are the cases that like really drew me into true crime. And I was just, a teenager. Of
Right.
course, my parents were like, "What the hell's wrong with her?" She wants to keep reading true crime books and stuff. But
But they're so interesting, though. That's the thing. The people who are not into true crime just don't understand that.
yeah, I think a lot of it is the psychology behind it. Like we're trying to understand how we walk amongst these people.
Like their mind, like how does their
Yeah,
mind work when it comes to something like that?
yeah,
I know it would be crazy to be a person who studied that, uh,
yeah.
the way the mind of SKs work and the brain function and all that.
I couldn't do it. I mean, I can just go ahead and tell you when I was in college for psychology, they tried multiple different like specialties with me. They tried having me work with domestic violence victims. I couldn't do it because I'm a DV survivor, so it was just too hard on me. I couldn't do it. And when my mentor, my thesis supervisor, pulled me, is when I was basically telling a lady, if you're stupid enough to keep going back, then you deserve what you get. Because, like, I wasn't handling it very well. Then
Hmm.
they tried me, going out to different crime scenes. I think I told you guys about that. Couldn't
Yep.
handle that, couldn't do that. Then I did abnormal child psychology and worked at the child advocacy center as a volunteer. And they brought in a couple of kids who'd come from an abusive home,
Uh huh.
and we were doing doll therapy with them, trying to get them to tell us what had happened in their home, through these dolls. And I ended up breaking down, crying, couldn't do it. And I just remember going home telling my husband, I think we just wasted, $70,000 on me going to school because I can't do it. Like there's no part
Yeah,
of
I couldn't do the kids. I
that
wouldn't been able to
I
do that.
couldn't do rape victims. I couldn't do any of it, Scarlett. All of it tore me apart. It
And
was
the DV part of it, they
yeah.
wouldn't want me to do that because I would tell the women, pick you something up and beat the hell out of you.
I would
Uh,
get real mad with the DV victims when there was kids involved, and it was like the same woman repeatedly coming in, telling the story about getting beat up in front of her kids, and then going right back to it. And I just didn't have the right temperament for it. In fact, I remember my thesis supervisor told me that I should have went for um, sexual sex psychology. That's where she thought I would have been best at. Go figure. She said because I was so open minded. Can you believe that?
yeah, I could believe that.
And of course, my husband was like, "Oh no, 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 no."
Thank you, Glowbug. Hey, Gigi. See, not well tonight to type or I love you. All right,
You have
teacher,
to
we love you too.
you have to really have a very strong kind of a mindset and really be able to keep your opinions separate when you're working with different people like that.
Yeah,
And I
see,
just wasn't able to do it.
the DV part of it, like I said, I would tell the woman like you got to have a backbone, you got to stand up for yourself.
Hmm.
That man goes to touch you, this is what you do. I teach him how to throat punch the dude.
Oh, I've been
So
teaching them how to get a freaking cast iron skillet full of hot grits.
exactly. So I would get in trouble with that one. Crime scene, I could do that. That wouldn't bother me unless it
Ooh,
involved a child. Then
gosh,
I probably couldn't handle it. But crime scene stuff, I can. It doesn't bother me. Medical, like surgical stuff, doesn't bother me.
you're lucky.
It's
You're lucky. Crime scenes really bother me.
stuff like that. It's very interesting though.
Mm.
Very scary. Uh, Probably have you awake all night thinking about what you saw and stuff like that. But
Oh yeah,
I could do it. The kid thing that you was talking about, I couldn't do.
yeah,
I couldn't do that.
yeah. These were little kids that they weren't quite old enough, to like have a full conversation with us.
Right.
We were trying to, the police were trying to figure out who actually abused them. Um, and so they had taken them to the children's center, and the police were in another room watching through, a one-way mirror.
Right.
And I was in there with it was, I believe, two psychologists. I was just, training, doing interning,
Mm-hmm.
and they were working with him with the dolls. And oh my goodness, I had to get up and walk out about 3 or 4 times because I broke down crying, and they were like, "You can't do that in front of these children. You can't, like, you're taking away from these children. You're
Right.
taking the opportunity for them to get justice away because you can't control your emotions." And
Yeah. And
so
I'm pretty sure people who have done that, when you've done it long enough, you probably acclimate to it.
probably, yeah,
And it probably still bothers you, but you know how to control your emotions after a while. Me, I couldn't
yeah.
have done it. I would have. That would have
I
been a
don't,
time that you would have seen Scarlet cry, and
I
I
don't know
would
what
cry
I
very
was
much.
thinking. I mean, I get upset when I run over a squirrel by accident, so I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, so that was not the job for you. Hey, Tonka. Yeah, that's. I don't even like watching stuff like that on TV. If it has
Yeah,
to
I
be.
thought it was going to be something totally different when I first signed up for school, and nope.
Yeah,
You got to have some kind of a specialty, and I
people who
guess I
do
could have been a
that.
good sex therapist.
Well, I will say this: that people who work with kids who have been through trauma like that, there's got to be something special about them.
Oh yeah,
Honestly,
and the patience.
yeah,
You have to have so much,
the,
patience.
being able to control your emotions,
Yeah.
and that's what makes me sick with Kayla when she was on that stand today. She could control herself, and then when she needed to, she turned them tears on when it came to talking about what she went through. She wanted to portray herself so bad of being this victim, and the only victim in this case is Harmony, and that's it.
Exactly, exactly.
Like she's taken away from Harmony, and wanting all the attention should be on Harmony and what happened to her. And Kayla, with her selfish ass, got up there today and was trying to get the attention for herself.
Yeah, and Kayla is alive and has the rest of her life. And Harmony
Exactly.
doesn't.
Exactly.
Pitiful.
Kelly P, that is true. Kelly P says it takes a special person to help kids that have been traumatized. God's honest truth. I couldn't do it. I would. I don't cry a whole lot, but that would be the one time that I would, because I wouldn't be able to handle it. I get upset. Y'all see how upset I get over these kids' cases. That's why I don't like doing kids' cases, because of people like Kayla and Adam, or Chad Dorman, Lori Vallow and Chad, what they done. I don't like doing kids cases because I get so upset over it. But at the same time, I need to do it, or I feel like that I need to do it in order to get their story out or find out what happened to them by putting their faces out and their story out and talking about it, helping them get justice. But it's very draining and emotional. And this bitch today sitting on that stand, she just literally pissed me off. To if I would have had a Lori Vallow portal, I would have portaled my ass to New Hampshire and jumped on her. That's how mad I was.
I'd have went with you.
I mean, I would have stopped by Alabama and grabbed you up on my way up there. But that's how mad I was, though, because she's not doing it for Harmony. She's only doing it for herself to get less time. So
I
she can go
wonder
to
if
that
her
jail and
mom,
have her life.
do you think her mom's going to testify?
Kayla's mom,
Hmm.
possibly, being that they have said, or well, Kayla has said that they had Harmony's body there.
I mean, if they had the girl testify about bringing the jumper cables, I would think her mom would.
Yeah, because that woman that brought the jumper cable said that she only met Harmony once, and that's when she babysit Harmony and one of the boys. But she doesn't remember that night seeing her in
Yeah.
the car when she brought the jumper cables. Well, no, you didn't see her because at that point she was deceased.
I'm kind of curious to see what Kayla's mom is like, just overall. You know, like you just picture, because Kayla's such a monster, you just picture her mom must be like this awful, evil, person.
She
Watch
could
her
be
get up there and be
one of
just as sweet as can
the
be.
sweetest women ever, who is could possibly get on the stand and cry her eyes out, not for the fact that her daughter is in jail and is in all this trouble, but for the fact that Harmony, what happened to her. You know what I'm saying? That's because her mother may have morals and
Yeah.
respect for Harmony and love for Harmony, even though it wasn't her bio granddaughter.
I wonder if her family even talks to her mom and all. I mean, I don't know. A lot of people, their kids commit these unalivings and stuff, and they say they think they could still talk to them and communicate with them, but I just don't. I'm just not sure that I could. I really don't know if I could.
Well, see, here was the thing too, though. She was so worried about Adam stealing that saw from her mama's house because it was brand new and it was still in the box, and she didn't want Adam to take it from her mama, steal it from her mama's house, and all this and that. But yet, you brought a deceased child in a bag and put it in your mama's cooler in the ice chest and left it outside of her house for
Right?
several days. So
Talk about
you're
weird priorities.
exactly, you're not worried about getting your mama caught up with that, but you're worried about Adam stealing a damn saw.
Yeah, it makes no sense. No sense.
There,
And have you noticed that all these people, so far that have, well, not all of them, but most of them did not graduate college. Have you noticed that?
did she graduate
Kayla
high
did.
school?
No, I think she said she dropped out in 10th grade.
Okay, I don't even
Crystal dropped out.
remember.
I
I
know
think
Adam was a
the
dropout.
who was the lady that testified? Hold on, let me get her name from today. Uh,
Oh, the one that looked like Chelsea Graham?
yes, she is. She's wait, hold on. What is her name? Shit.
Wasn't it Crystal something?
Uh, wait, hold on.
I swear she's Chelsea Graham's twin.
I gotta find my notes. So this is day two. This is day three. That's
She's in
day
college.
three. Yeah, she's the only one so far um, that is in college. Oh, the other thing that Kayla said in her letter that she wanted, uh, She wanted immunity from everything. She wanted treatment, mental health counseling, her kids in her life, and then the thing with Adam. Okay.
Sh- She's
They were,
got some nerve. I helped, this I helped this man carry the corpse of a child around and dispose of it, but I want my kids in my life.
yeah, because I'm not a danger to them.
She's so far from reality.
Oh, jeez. Okay, so Kimberly Frayne was her name.
That's it.
Yes, that was her. I didn't
And then
write down what she does, but did she say something about she was going back to school for shit, what did she say?
it was something
Something
business.
business administration, was that it?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. So yes, so far she's the only one that
And then the wife that brought the jumper cables, she when she was listing her jobs, she it sounded like she must have graduated.
okay, yeah, that was the Kimberly woman. Hospital administration. Thank you, Angela. So yeah, Kimberly's
No,
the
wait.
one.
The one that
Kim,
looked like Chelsea Grimm,
yeah,
it
that's the one.
that's the
That's yeah, she's the one who brought the jumper cables.
well, what did the blonde girl testify to? Oh, her and her husband offered for them a place to stay
Stay.
and food.
Yeah, on the night
That,
that they got it was Thanksgiving night that they offered that. And damn, I
mm-hmm,
thought they were going to go somewhere with that too because she said that Adam was for it staying with them, but
mm-hmm,
then she said, but the way she was saying it, Kayla wasn't, and then they made the decision not to stay. And I thought they were going to go somewhere with that. Okay, well, why did Kayla want to stay? And they never carried
yeah,
on with it. Like she was on the stand no more than 10 minutes.
yeah. That was weird the way they abruptly ended.
It's like
You
they
know,
didn't follow
they
up with it.
they've done that a few times, just very abruptly ended testimony, and you're just sitting there like, what? I thought there was going to be more.
Right. Because I was wanting to know, unless it goes into a thing of hearsay at that point. Because if they say, well, you know, Kayla told Adam we can't stay or I don't want to stay, then at that point it becomes hearsay.
Well, so I guess the whole purpose of her testimony was that she did not see Harmony on Thanksgiving, right?
No, she said that she did see Harmony.
Oh, she did see her. Oh,
Yes. Uh,
okay. And I need to keep notes like you're doing.
okay, so wait. So her name was Courtney Garcia. Her husband was friends with Adam. Uh, and Adam worked under her. I guess she was Adam's manager at some point. She said that her and her husband offered Adam gas money and a place to stay on Thanksgiving night. Adam was for it, but Adam and Kayla ended up not staying. Adam told her that Harmony was better off with her mom because she could provide a better home. Well, at the time, though, Harmony was still alive Thanksgiving night because that was, they
Okay.
got evicted the night before. So
Yeah.
he must have told her that afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Kimberly Fran, I guess is her name. She worked at Dunkin' Donuts and she worked with both Kayla and Adam. She worked there, I think she said like 5 years. Uh, she met Harmony once. She babysit Harmony and one of the boys. She's the one that brought Adam the jumper cables that night to jump off Anthony's car, which was the blue Audi. And she saw that's when Kayla got the boys out of Anthony's car, put them into Kimberly's car, and cut the heat on so they would get warm while they were boosting the car off. And
That's
I was
right.
and I was thinking, well, damn, what about Harmony? And then I thought, oh shit, no, never mind. Harmony was already
Yeah, that's
deceased at
right.
that point. So she didn't see Harmony. She just saw Kayla with the two boys.
Now, have I missed a lot of the uncle's testimony? Have they already talked about Adam making Harmony clean the toothbrush or the toilet with her toothbrush?
I haven't even heard that.
Okay, that's probably going to be coming up then. Well, no, because the uncle's done testifying, right?
Yes.
I wonder why they didn't bring that up. Well, what did you think of the uncle? It seemed like he had some kind of a disability or something.
I have mixed feelings about it. And real quick, Meta Mom wants to know if you can see the chat.
Oh, I can when I look at it.
Okay, she was asking that. Um, the uncle to begin with seemed very tense, and then somebody brought it up in chat about his shoulder, how it looked like he had maybe a shoulder injury. So I thought, okay, it did look different from his other shoulder. Maybe he has an injury, but he didn't take medicine for it that morning, so he would have a clear mind while he's on the stand, and he's just hurting. But then there was at one point he become very relaxed, and both of his shoulders looked the same.
Maybe he took a muscle relaxer or something. Yeah,
But
he was holding himself funny, wasn't he?
yeah, but he would have had to have taken it on the stand.
Oh,
He become very relaxed. He was drinking a lot of water, which could be a side effect of medication.
yeah.
You can get dry mouth from medication. As soon as he got to the scene, he poured a cup of water. Uh,
He just had like very long pauses before his answers. And I thought maybe he had like a like a comprehension disability or something.
well, somebody said something about him having a traumatic brain injury from
Okay.
him after Harmony had died. Apparently, something about he tried to jump off a bridge
Oh, jeez, Lord.
to unalive himself,
Oh, wow.
and he survived it, and he got a brain injury from it, and
Uh,
so that could have something to do with it. Uh,
okay. That makes sense.
they it is possible, minimum, that he did do substances before. He did have a very delayed response when questions were asked, just about all the questions. There was some of the questions that he didn't understand, but was said in a very comprehensible way. Uh, you could tell whenever he was asked something, you could see him thinking about it because he would like look up, like when you're thinking about something. You could see him doing that a lot, and then he would come up with an answer.
Yeah. I thought I was like, well, maybe he's got like a comprehension learning disability. But if he did that, so it sounds like he do, because I know they said he had some felonies and stuff too. So it doesn't really sound like he's that great of a character witness. But at the same time, why would he lie about his nephew?
Well, Kayla said something about that Adam had threatened her that his uncle Kevin would unalive her, which got me thinking: is he about that type of life, Uncle Kevin?
He
Uh,
Uncle Kevin seems like he's had a rough life. He really does. Like,
so he didn't want to be there testifying against Adam. They asked him that. He said no, he didn't want to be there. Uh,
yeah,
but they asked him, well, why did you make the calls to CPS or DCY or whatever it is that they call it up there? He said to get Harmony help.
yeah.
Uh,
And he did start to cry on the stand
yes,
too.
there
Yeah,
was there was some emotion in there, especially when they showed him the picture of Harmony. Hey,
yeah,
Megan, uh, I just I don't want to say that this man knew what had happened or had anything to do with it.
yeah,
I have mixed emotions about it because I
yeah,
want to believe 1,000% he did call. He did call him,
yeah,
about her having the black eye. But I also wonder if Adam did try to manipulate him after Harmony was deceased into helping him do something with her body.
yeah. I thought about that too.
And then it comes into play the traumatic brain injury from jumping off the bridge. If that is true, I haven't
Yeah.
seen
So
clarification of that, but that is what somebody said. Uh,
you've never heard about Harmony having to clean the toilet with her toothbrush and then use her toothbrush?
I've never heard that. The only
Oh,
thing I heard about her toothbrush was that when the defense asked Kayla today, so whenever y'all left, when y'all got evicted, you took Harmony's toothbrush, and she was like, "Well, yeah, I took all of our toothbrushes," and she was like, "Well, even the babies." She was like, "Well, I mean, they did have baby toothbrushes." It is they were asking about what did you take clothes, underclothes, stuff like that. That's the only thing I've heard about Harmony's toothbrush.
I'm gonna look it up and see if I can find a link for you about it.
Okay. Unless I have just heard about it and don't remember it because it was so long ago. But that was the only thing I remember hearing. Oh my god, y'all, my nose is so stopped up. And it's hard to talk with it like this. And I don't know where my Vicks is. Let me see. Let me get back to my notes real quick. See if there was anything else with this crazy ass woman.
Okay,
So,
I found it already. I'm
okay,
posting it in the back chat.
okay. Let's see.
Because there was a bunch of things he did to her that day, not just smash her around the house, but he did. There was the toothbrush thing. There was quite a few things he did to her that day.
Okay. So this is supposed to be the day that he gave her the black eye, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. So this came out January the 5th of 2022. Pull it up here. Okay. All right. So it says I bashed her around the house. Harmony Montgomery's dad punched her when baby brother cried, made her clean toilet with toothbrush. So apparently this was in the affidavit, which I have not read. So that could be the reason why I have not heard about this. All right, so an arrest affidavit sheds light on the disturbing home life of 7-year-old Harmony Montgomery, a 7-year-old New Hampshire girl who has been missing for 2 years. According to the New Hampshire Department of Justice, police arrested Adam Montgomery, 31, on charges of felony second-degree assault, interference with custody, and 2 charges of endangering the welfare of a child pertaining to his daughter Harmony. They could give you all of that, okay? But where's this neglect charges at?
And why isn't Kayla charged with any of those?
Yeah, she's admitting her shit. So I wonder, does anybody know before I go on? Did police ever get their car and get
That's a good
to
question. I don't know.
get to do it because it was towed.
That's
Um,
a good question.
so I wonder if it was towed to a junkyard where it sat until they just couldn't keep it anymore and got rid of it, uh, crushed it or whatever, or if police were able to get it and do forensics on it because that was never, from what I've seen so far, that was never said. It was said, about what they found as far as the decomp uh, stuff up in the ceiling of the homeless shelter and stuff like that. But I haven't heard anything about the car.
And now I'm never buying a used car again for the rest of my life.
Yeah, that is. You
Jeez.
never know, especially if they come from like an
Whew.
auction,
Yeah.
out of state auction. Yeah,
Mm.
you never know. Okay. So Harmony hasn't been seen since 2019, according to police, but was only reported missing in late 2021. Justice, how are you? So although an arrest has been made, the search for Harmony continues, the department said. Court documents released Wednesday indicated that police received a call from Harmony's biological mother, Crystal Story, on November the 18th of 2021, who claimed her daughter was missing. According to CBS Boston, Story told police that Harmony's father had physical custody of the girl and she couldn't get in touch with him. Story reportedly added that she lost custody of Harmony in 2018 due to a drug issue. New Hampshire police reached out to New Hampshire Department of Children's Services to locate Adam, but by December the 27th, the agency couldn't find him. Police began searching for Montgomery, when they learned that Harmony had not been physically seen since October-November of 2019. While searching for Montgomery, police spoke to his brother Michael, who explained that Montgomery had abused Harmony and gave her a black eye. Police then reached out to Montgomery's cousin, Kevin, who witnessed the alleged incident, which that's not his cousin, that's his uncle. Uh, I bashed her around the house, Montgomery said, according to Kevin. Kevin told investigators that Montgomery got upset at Harmony when her infant brother started crying because he told her to keep an eye on him. In anger, Montgomery allegedly spanked Harmony, made her scrub the toilet with a toothbrush, and forced her to stand in the corner for hours. Well, why the hell, whenever they had Kayla on the stand talking about this, or Uncle Kevin was on the stand talking about all this, why wasn't the toothbrush issue brought up?
Or her standing in the corner for hours.
Yes, the only thing that was talked about was her black eye.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
I've been
it.
wondering that too.
Okay, this picture right here, this is her brother that was adopted, but they got uh, his face blacked out. But that's him. That's the picture that I see that the adoptive dad had put on Twitter. Okay, so during Tuesday's episode of Crime Stories with Nancy Grace, the adoptive father of Harmony's younger brother explained that Harmony had protected the boys when they ended up in foster care. The children were reportedly shuffled around in several different homes before social services gave Harmony back to her father. On December the 31st, police located Montgomery sleeping in a car in New Hampshire with his current girlfriend. The girlfriend told police that Montgomery never once talked about Harmony. When investigators interviewed Montgomery's estranged wife, she said that she hadn't spoken to him since November 2021 and hasn't seen Harmony since late 2019. Montgomery reportedly told police that Harmony's mother came to pick her up in Manchester, New Hampshire around Thanksgiving 2019, and Montgomery claimed that he hadn't seen his daughter since. Adam did not exhibit much emotion or reaction to this, the affidavit read. Meanwhile, the search for Harmony continues. The circumstances surrounding this prolonged absence are very concerning and are being thoroughly investigated, New Hampshire police said in a statement Friday. Detectives are now working with DCYF, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and the FBI. DCYF, they ain't worth shit. I can see that now. At this time, I have dedicated all available resources and personnel to locating Harmony. I encourage anyone to contact the Manchester Police Department with any relevant information which will help us in locating Harmony, Police Chief Alan Allenberg said. That poor little girl. Okay, and it just goes into talking about one of the last known sightings, which we have heard.
So that makes me wonder, has Kevin's story changed? Or there's a lot of wind out here, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, has Kevin changed his story, or like what is the reason that they didn't bring any of that other stuff up?
I don't know. That's what I would like to know. Why did they? Because if they're just going off of abuse, then that's a form of abuse.
Yeah, and if I remember right, there was another article, well, probably several articles, but I think when he made her stand in that corner for hours, I think it was something like 8 hours, and I think he put books on
Oh my
her
god.
head or something. He did something else. I know there was a slew of things that he had done to that child that day, aside from the black eye. Like I remember that. I just can't remember all the specifics.
I wish the men in prison knew all this and they would do to him
Let's
what
let
he
them
did to
know.
her.
Let's write them all.
Is that a dare?
I got stationery.
I got plenty of paper.
Let's write them.
I do want to write Kayla. I do. I mean, I'm gonna wait till after the trial is over
Ooh,
with. I want to write her though. I want to tell her what a piece of shit she is for allowing what happened to Harmony and allowing her kids to be in that situation.
yeah.
But I want to
Mm,
wait till, like I said, until after the trial. That way,
yeah.
if she decides to write me back, she can,
Dang.
because before the trial is over with, uh, she won't write back.
Tell you what, they must feed them good in those prisons or jail or whatever the heck she's in.
Or it's medicine that's causing the weight gain.
Oh, yeah, that could be it too.
I hope she's getting her food taken away from her every day.
I,
Because
I always thought prison food was like a piece of bologna and a piece of bread, and
she don't
but then
even deserve that.
I always see these inmates coming in looking all healthy.
This probably has a lot to do with the medication that they're given
Yeah.
in there, especially if it's some type of psych med that has that side effect of weight gain. But
Ooh, I wonder if Crystal's gonna have a wrongful death lawsuit against the courts for giving custody to Adam and against
the DCYF
yeah, DCYF.
felon, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if she would get anything out of them because of her past. Uh, because they could come back and say, well, if you wasn't in the situation that you were in, then you would have
True.
still had your child, and they would kind of make her out to look like a bad parent as
That
well,
is true.
and
But
make it like it's her
honestly,
fault.
she did do the right thing. She knew she couldn't take care of her baby.
And she gave her
So,
back. And that's what I said. I don't agree with the fact of a mother choosing drugs over their kids. But at the same time, you've got to give her credit where credit is due. She knew she couldn't properly take care of her. And so
right.
she might have been hard, but she did give her back.
Now, what I'm just curious what your opinion is, Scarlett. Do you think addiction is a disease or a choice?
Um,
And if you're not comfortable saying it, you don't have to. I'm just
no,
curious.
no, I'll say it. I just a lot of people think it's a disease. I have
Hmm.
seen firsthand with a family member what addiction does. Uh, I fully think that it is a choice.
Hmm.
Uh, in my family member, to begin with, it wasn't her fault that she got started on the medicine. She was in the hospital. She had Crohn's disease. She went into the hospital and they hooked her up to a pain pump. And when she was in pain, she would hit the button every chance she got. Uh,
Oh,
and so it started that addiction, and it just got worse and worse and worse over the years. And
hmm.
she had chances to get help. She chose not to. She had chances to go into a rehab. She chose not to. She chose the medicine, the narcotics, and the drugs uh, over getting help in her kids. And so a lot of people think that it is a disease. Uh, Me personally, I think it's a choice. I think it's a choice that comes down to you have the choice to get help. Yes, I get that it can be hard, and I get that it's scary. I've watched a lot of things where the addict, the one thing that they fear the most is the sickness from going through detox. They don't want to be sick and the body aches and all that. So I get that, but it's still a choice. And if you don't make that choice to get better, then you're just going to keep repeating it. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to stay on it. And you're just going to go down that path.
Yeah,
Now,
I agree with you.
a lot of people I have heard think that it's a disease, and if that's their thought of it, that is, I'm completely fine with that, and I respect that. Uh, but me personally, I think it's a choice because, like I said, if you're in that situation and you have a choice, and someone, there has been people that has been an addict and just going almost to the point of dying, and there has been celebrities who has offered to put a person into rehab and fully pay for the whole rehab, and they won't take it. They had a free ride to get help, and they wouldn't take it. And so I just, that's where I get that it's a choice versus a disease. And if somebody, and if, like I said, if people think that it's a disease, I respect your opinion on that, but me personally, I think it's a choice. You make that choice to get up every morning and do whatever it is that you're addicted to. You have a choice to want it, and you have to want to stop in order to do it. But it's still that choice. You always have that choice to stop it. And you don't make that choice. You make the choice to continue to do it.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Obviously, one of your dogs agree with me too.
Yeah, I
Uh,
just walked in the room to get on the charger and he's heard your voice. He's already right
so
here.
he's just
She hears you. She hears
he's, he's saying hi to me. Alcoholism can be
you.
seen in entire families, generation after generation. Liza, that is true too.
Yeah, I think I think alcoholism, I know you can be like predisposed to it if, genetically. I,
Uh-huh.
I I think that might be a little different, but I'm not so positive. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Now, you can have it in your families. There can be
Yeah.
generation after generation of addictive behavior,
Yeah.
and so it makes it easier for you to get addicted to stuff.
Yeah.
But I still think at the end of the day, you have the choice to stop or to continue doing it.
Yeah. Well, like my mom, she had it in her family on her father's side. She went through a period of about 2 years of very heavy drinking, and I
Uh-huh.
remember her saying, that, she had to quit because she was an alcoholic. I didn't even know she was. And she went and got, treatment and quit, and then never for the rest of her life did I ever see her drink again.
Some people can quit it and it just and not even bother them. And then
Yeah,
there's some people, who have to continuously, go to therapy. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you need help to continue with your sobriety, there is nothing at all wrong with that.
oh, right,
Uh, it,
absolutely.
it, it still comes down to the thing that you're making the choice to continue with your sobriety, and you're making the choice to continue with getting help because that's
Yeah,
what you want to do. You want to stay clean. Uh,
yeah.
so and I don't know
She's
if
so
there's anybody in here who's going through this, and if you are, you don't have to say. But if you ever feel like that you can't get clean, you can. Uh,
Yeah.
Even if you need help with it, there's nothing wrong with asking for help
Oh,
at
yeah,
all. Like
definitely.
it, there's always somebody out there, whether it's a family member, a friend, a complete total stranger, uh, whatever. There's always going to be somebody out there who will support you. So
Yeah,
never think that you can't get through it because you can.
yeah, yeah. Anybody who's suffering and if they want to, help from a stranger, my Discord's always open. I might not be able to help cure you, but I can definitely help support you and try to
Absolutely.
guide you.
There's always somebody.
I would never tell somebody no or, not try to help like as much as I could.
I mean, there's always going to be that hater though.
Oh yeah.
Always. There's always going to be the people who want to pressure you, and it's a mind over matter situation at that point.
Yeah,
Those type of people you have to cut out of your life if you really want to get better. Because if you still, whether
definitely.
I don't care if it's a family member or whatever, you have to cut them out of your life because if not, you're never going to get better.
Yeah.
Avery's dog sounds like it's snoring. I think it's growling at me, Kelly.
He's talking. That's how he talks. It sounds like a growl, I guess, coming through the phone, but it's just him going, "Arr, arr."
Oh,
It's just him talking.
he's just sending me loves. That's all he's doing.
He is. That's
I
exactly
guess
what he's
I
doing.
guess my little fuzzy cat knows that I'm sick because he has
Oh,
literally stayed in my lap all day today. And he gets up here and he will like look up at me, then rub his head all over my chest and put his feet up close to my face and
oh.
just want to snuggle. So I guess he senses that I'm sick and hurting and just not feeling good because the damn cat would not leave me alone.
Whenever my nose is plugged, my dogs are obsessed with sniffing my nose. It drives me bonkers. but they want to try to stick their nose all the way up my nostrils, trying to see what's going on up there. It annoys the crap out of me.
They're trying to help you get it unstopped.
I guess so.
Which I can't let the cats in my face, so I can't. I'm not
Yeah,
allergic to them. I just can't stand. I don't even let Klaus in my face. I can't stand that. But he'll get up here and he's literally just put his paws like on my cheeks. It's almost like I know you're sick. I'm here to love and take care of you.
he's taking your temperature with his paws.
Oh God, I guess he's just not left me alone all day today though.
I just hope you're not getting that crud that's going around because I mean, it's been like 4 weeks, what, 4 weeks, and I still am straining to talk, and my ears still keep plugging up, and I'm
Mine,
so
when I was
over it.
sleeping last night, I could feel my ears popping,
Ugh,
and
hate
so I don't
that.
know what that's about. But my nose, yesterday it wasn't as bad. Today it's been really bad. With
Well,
my nose being stopped up, and my voice is getting worse.
get you some of that, what I call it, Sudafedrin.
Oh, the pseudoephedrine.
Yeah, get you some of that because that's actually what finally cleared Jaden up, and it didn't help me with my voice. I'm still straining, but I was cleaning my baseboards with a toothbrush. That shit's like steroids, but it opens you up like big time opens you up. But don't take it if you're on blood pressure medicine. Because like I'm on blood pressure meds, and the
Uh,
pharmacist told me just take one, you know, and then
yeah.
if I felt like my heart rate increasing too much, then not to skip the next dose or whatever.
Sarah said her ear's been popping for like 3 weeks now. I don't know why mine's doing that. It's weird as hell though when it does it. I don't know if my ears are getting stopped up as well or what.
We're infected with the kung fu-itis, I swear it. They
God.
just haven't diagnosed it yet.
Y'all, my poor son, my oldest was still sick. And
Oh,
he told me the other day, he was like, I'm sick with COVID. And I was like, you don't know if you've got that or not. You've got to be tested. Well, if it ain't that, then it's strep. I was like, you got to be tested for that too. It was like, well, I'm just sick and I can't handle it.
poor guy.
He come in and he don't like taking medicine. He don't like taking Tylenol like that. He come in and was like, do I have a fever? And I felt his head. I was like, yeah, you feel like you got a fever. Well, can I take ibuprofen? I said, yes, you can take it. It won't kill me, will it? I was like, no, it's not going to kill you. So he took two and then he went to sleep finally. He woke up a few hours later. He was like, I feel better. And then, like, the next morning, I'm sick again. He just, yeah, he can't stand being sick. He can't handle it. And,
My sister's husband, he doesn't like to take medicine either, and he had been sick recently. And this is so funny. She ended up taking him to urgent care because she couldn't his they couldn't get his temperature down. And
uh,
so they go into urgent care, and he tells the doctor that he's been taking ibuprofen every 4 to 6 hours because that's what my sister told him to take.
uh-huh.
So the doctor asks him how many he's been taking. He had been taking one ibuprofen. And this is like a 6'1", 6'2", probably 200-pound man. And he'd been taking one ibuprofen.
He should have been taking two
He had
or
no idea.
three, possibly.
He had no idea what he was doing.
Oh, yeah, I usually take two ibuprofen, three Tylenol, but even with headaches that I have, they neither one help. So
Yeah.
the sickness and the pain, they're not helping.
She said that when they got home, she started giving him 3 ibuprofen, and he was scared to death that he was going to die.
Oh my god, this was
Men are
about
such wusses.
when they get
Yeah.
sick, they are.
Yes.
All right, I need to pull this up before I forget it. Kohlberger's uh, hearing date. Um, so they have set a hearing date. This is from the judge. Came out today. Hey, Big Al, how are you? So it's an order setting hearing. And it said, based on the defendant's motion to allow certain experts and investigators protected access to view IgG material, defendant's motion requesting clarification of the sealed order for disclosure of IgG information and protection order, and the state's request for a scheduling order, the court orders the following. So one is a hearing on the above motions is set for February the 28th at 1 p.m. Pacific time. So that will be 3 o'clock my time. And I got to look and see what day of the week that is. But this hearing will be open to the public and will be live streamed on the court's YouTube channel. As the scheduling, counsel shall be prepared to address scheduling, both a briefing schedule and oral argument on the defendant's motion for a change of venue, a discovery cutoff deadline, expert disclosure deadlines, deadlines for filing any pretrial motions such as motions to suppress or motions in limine, and dates for a trial. Thank you, Sarah Beth. So it's on a Wednesday. So if Adam's trial is still going on, when this gets here on the 28th, I will have to figure something out. Hopefully, Adams will be done by the time this starts. Okay, so Liza, the IgG stuff, it was turned over from the state, given to the court. That the judge determined what would be allowed for the defense to look at. So the defense has now gotten it, but the defense has asked for permission from the court to allow their experts and investigators to also look at this because it is protected. They have to ask permission for anybody else to look at it other than the three attorneys. There will Dr. Leah Larkin, Stephen Mercer, and what was the other lady's name? Shit, I gotta go to her. Where's that?
Why are they addressing scheduling when the judge hasn't even issued an order setting any dates? I thought that's what was.
Well, that's what they're going to do on this day. So he's
Oh,
wanting.
he's going to issue the orders?
Yeah, he is wanting the discovery cutoff deadline, which I think he should have done on January the 26th.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And the dates for the trial. Thank you, Tonka. Bicca Barlow, Leah Larkin, and Stephen Mercer was the three people that she asked permission to look at the stuff. Also, these investigators, but because she didn't name the investigators, did the state come back and objected to it and said that if you're going to ask for someone to have permission to look at this, you need to give their names. They need to be vetted. And so all of that will be talked about on February the 28th. Like I said, it'll be 3 o'clock Central Time. Adam's trial, if it's still going, it should be ending the end of the day because that would be 4 o'clock their time. So it should be ending around the same time that this is going to get started. So I'll still get to stream this.
Yeah, because Adam's judge loves to end early. It's like her
yeah.
thing.
I thought she was going to end early today when Kayla made that remark, when they would come back from the 30-minute break.
Mm-hmm.
That was literally like the longest 15 minutes I'd ever seen.
Did we ever figure out what Kayla said under her breath?
No, I never did go back and listen to it, but somebody on Twitter said something about, they thought she said something about Harmony's deceased, but she said the other word instead of deceased. That was like, a lot of people have said that on Twitter.
Oh, wow.
That's what, that they went back and enhanced it and cut it up and all that. And that's what it sounded like she had said. Because there was a few people in there that said something about, it sounded like she said Mary's deceased.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about it, just listen to something, Mary, Harmony.
Yeah.
And so.
That's so odd to whisper something under your breath while on the stand like that. I replayed it a few times trying to see if I could understand it, but I was getting different things every time I listened.
Yeah, because I forgot what the lady's name is that's on Twitter.
Oh, Rose?
That might be her. Because she posted a lot of of stuff today about what Kayla was saying on Twitter. So it could have been her. But somebody had asked on there what was that Kayla said under her breath. And a lot of people went to comment and said that that's what it sounded like, that Harmony's deceased.
Jeez.
So I don't know what her reason would be
Yeah,
unless she's being cocky about it. Well, Harmony's deceased, so like, what's the point of asking what you're asking? But it was,
yeah.
the defense was asking the questions at the time, and obviously she doesn't like the defense. So,
It aggravates me every time she says the day that Harmony passed away. I'm like, no, she didn't pass away.
she was
Like
murdered.
she's downplaying.
Oh yeah, she downplayed it. She deflected. She
Hmm.
couldn't remember a lot of stuff today for some reason. Uh, she tried to distance herself just enough to not make herself look guilty,
Hmm.
but also, like, she walked that fine line with it. It was
Yeah.
just enough to not make herself look guilty, but it was just enough to be telling the truth about what happened. About, her story. This is
Right.
what happened. This is my story. It's the full truth. So
Yeah.
uh, I'm waiting for the, like, I got to hear the boo from the defense now. I really do. I don't like how that ended. I really
Yeah.
thought they were going somewhere today.
I did too. I was like, what in the world?
Like any guilty, unskilled criminal would. I mean, she is like, she's dumb. You know. Oh, Adam took Harmony back to her biological mother. I'm gonna stick with that story for a very long time because I don't think y'all are gonna go find the bio mom and see if Harmony's with her.
Right.
Or I was working at Dunkin' Donuts that day, and this was my shift. Knowing damn good well she wasn't working at Dunkin' Donuts anymore because she had been fired before that. I guess she thought they wasn't going to go verify the employment.
God, the way she looked in that mugshot, who would hire her?
Oh, see, we would have to have a
Ooh.
hygiene talk before I
Oh
hired her
God,
because
yes.
the hair's got to be clean. You can't come in there looking all high. Yeah, that's a good question. Who would hire her? You know, and it doesn't
Well,
surprise me that she looked like that because listen to how she talked uh, about Harmony.
yeah,
It allowed her to have dried red fluid on her face for days and never cleaned it
right.
off.
Yeah. Mm-mm-mm. Well, I'm gonna hop down. Thank you for having me up.
Oh, you're
And
welcome. I'm probably supposed to get out of here too. I can't keep
yeah,
talking with my nose stopped up.
yeah, I got to be able to get up in the morning to watch the trial.
Yeah, I gotta get up at. Well, this morning I rolled out of bed, y'all. I had it scheduled for 8 o'clock. I literally rolled out of bed at 7:55. I stood up out the bed and sit down in the chair, and that's as far as I went.
Oh, funny.
So, and I still got to schedule it
I
tonight
can't
too.
even
So
function for the first 45 minutes that I'm awake. I walk into walls and everything.
that's why I stood up out of the bed and sit down in the chair so I would have to go nowhere else. My brain's got to start functioning. Oh. So hopefully they'll have trial tomorrow and they don't get snowed out.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Well, I will see you guys tomorrow.
okay, well, thank you for coming up.
All right. Good night.
All right, have a good night. Hey Dan, how are you? Let's see, I could not sleep. I thought I would come on. Yeah, Dan, and I'm about to get out of here, dude. But I will be back in the morning though. So, and I will say, y'all, Dan told us earlier what they were talking about the stove that they will be open tomorrow. The court will. Not have to worry about it. So I forgot somebody else said that they're just supposed to get a dusting of stove, so they'll be open. So I'm about to get out of here, so I go on to bed. And thank you all so much for coming and hanging out with us tonight. Everybody who's sick, I hope y'all get to feeling better. This crap is no joke. It's frustrating not being able to talk right. Avery, have a good night. Dan, have a good night. But I love you all. I hope you all have a wonderful night, and I will be back in the morning for the trial. So I hope I see all of you there.